station of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
Beautiful Monday fun and frolic in the ocean, San Diego, California, and then go to the Ball Yard. What a doubleheader on this Monday night midsummer as we welcome you to Petco Park in downtown San Diego, the opening game of a 4-game series as the Padres host the Houston Astros. And good evening, everyone, along with Tony Gwynn, and we welcome back Mark Grant from a holiday. What happened to all those circles under your eyes?
They're all gone. Bags are checked. Out of here.
And the Padres come home with smiles as well after a couple of wins up in Los Angeles to take that series. And as we think about the season as it progresses, the more and more the focus is on the young players and their contribution. They're bringing the unexpected. Just think of the past 3 weeks. Unexpected Saturday night at Dodger Stadium. Who would have thought young Cabrera would just kind of walk his way into a steal of home? And with Venable following closely by the Padres, steal a win 7-6. How about you, Tony?
Well, Yasmani Grandal. Who would have thought that the first 2 times up at the plate he'd hit a home run from each side? I mean, first hits from either side. That's something that you see veteran guys do. You don't see young guys step up to the plate and do that, even with the Phantom high five.
And he looks so comfortable at the plate from the left side and the right side, squaring up baseball. He can put him out of any ballpark. And quite frankly, guys, for me, it was back on June 28th. His first home run, Alexi Amarista, is a grand slam in Houston. But it's not just the result of that grand slam, the 4 runs, it's the reception he received. This showed me that this ball club is pulling on the same side of the rope. Look at the reception. Everett Cabrera there to greet him, and everybody at the top step greeting the little ninja, Alexi Amarista, and they've injected a lot of life into this ball club. There's no doubt about that.
And we saw that same incredible emotion Saturday night in Dodger Stadium in that dugout. It was like a college team, the way they were jumping on each other. So the Padres, with the youth and the enthusiasm and the talent that comes with it, go back to work tonight against Houston, and the veteran in the lineup, Chase Headley, home runs in each of the last 2 games. Play ball. Baseball is heavy with heartache, yet one team's pain suddenly brings another team glory. A momentary lapse by one man can create a winning window for others. A misfire across the diamond can quickly turn emotions and the game itself. The Padres capitalized on the Dodgers' mental and physical miscues over the weekend and return home tonight, winners of 8 of their last 12. No mistake about it. It's the Padres and Astros next on Fox Sports San Diego. And a perfect night to greet the home team. Conditions ideal as the Houston Astros come in. They've just struggled desperately on the road, have lost 13 consecutive games under manager Brad Mills. And here's how he has set his lineup with the all-star Jose Altuve leading off. Marwin Gonzalez back off the DL. Scott Moore showing some home run power. Justin Maxwell. Then Brian Bogusevic. Chris Johnson's done some damage in games the last couple of years against the Padre pitchers. Jordan Schaefer from Atlanta. Terrific speed. Veteran catcher Chris Snyder bats 8th. And Jay Happ on the mound. Kip Wells, 35 years young. 6'3", a lanky 205. Pitching against a team that he followed as a youngster in Houston. Went to Baylor University. A true Texan, Wells on the hill.
And he's good for about 100 pitches, guys. If he could take the Padres into the 6th and hopefully into the 7th and get to that bullpen of Gregerson, Thayer, and Street, chances are pretty darn good because when they lead after 6, they're 25-1.
Altuve, it'd be quite a contest to see who is the taller, Altuve or Amarista. They both list their height a little bit of fudging. They're both probably at 5'5". 297. Good looking hitting. There's Amarista out in left field tonight. In for a strike.
I think Altuve may have a couple inches on him.
I was just getting ready to say the same thing. I think he's got a couple inches on Amarista.
We got to get them before the game tomorrow night and put them back to back and measure it up. Put the ruler on the head.
Yeah,
see.
That's true to scale, folks.
Line drive center field. That's a big man's hit, and Maben misjudges it. It goes right over his head, and Altuve is trying for 3. The relay throw, and he'll stop at second base. So the little man with a big swing, and Maben fooled totally on that drive right over his head. Didn't have a chance.
Yeah, Altuve right on that. And you see Maben take 2 steps in, and ball's over his head and going to the wall. Altuve, for a little guy's got a little bit of sock.
And Tony, as an outfielder, one of the most difficult plays is the one directly over your head. That wasn't directly over the head of Maben, but he was thrown off big time on that one.
21 doubles. And in the twilight, also a little tougher to pick up the ball. Now the Astros, as we said, struggling to win on the road. Trying to break a 13-game losing streak. Swept in San Francisco on their way to San Diego. Off to a good start. Altuve at second, and Marwin Gonzalez picked up on the Rule 5 draft by Houston and was on the DL, off the DL yesterday, and had a single and a double in San Francisco. Altuve and Amarista both from Venezuela. I'm sure that as kids they ran into each other. Kip Wells looking for his 2nd win with the Padres. It's his 4th start.
We're going to have to see how Kip Wells pitches these Astros. And we talked about in the pregame show, pitching lefties away, righties away. And that's the way the outfield is shifted towards the left field line. Maben on the shortstop side of second base and center. You guys, I want to correct myself. When the Padres lead after 7 innings, they're 25-1. Let's get to the 7th ahead.
Yeah. And after 8 trailing, they were 1-50 until Los Angeles Saturday night. Ground ball up the middle. Forsythe able to backhand it and throw out. Gonzalez moves to 3rd. And let's check the Padre defense, brought to you by Mazda. Amarista for Quinton in left field. Maben and Denorfia. Familiar spots. Headley, Cabrera, Forsythe, and Guzman on the right side, and Yasmani Grandal behind the plate. Amarista, who has played every position so far but first, pitcher, and catcher. valuable talent to be able to throw it into those 3 outfield spots and all the infield positions.
And quite frankly, he looks comfortable at any position.
Yeah, he really does.
And a drive to left center. Amarista. Here comes his throw to the plate. And not in time. But Amarista charging over and then read that ball beautifully. Looked as if Maben wasn't going to catch it, that it might fall in. And Amarista sprinted into the gap to take care of business as the Astros take the early lead on the sacrifice fly by Scott Moore.
You know, I don't think the center fielder or left fielder with the best arm could have thrown out the runner with the way it was hit and where it was hit. But see, when Amarista catches it, he's got to turn that glove side all the way over. So it would have been a better throw for Cameron Maben because he is already set on that one side. And like I said, I don't think there's many outfielders, Tony, that's going to throw anybody out on that one.
And
yeah, you're right.
He jogged home anyway.
Yeah, you know, I mean, Amarista did all he could do.
Justin Maxwell hitting cleanup, the left fielder. He was picked up just after spring training, cut by the Yankees. Produced 8 home runs. Chopped to third. 2 hops to Headley. Ooh, he can run too. That was close at first. 1-0 Houston. Sports San Diego presents Padres Baseball. Brought to you by AT&T, the largest 4G network. AT&T. Rethink possible. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. By Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance. And by Chase, deposit checks from your smartphone with Chase Quick Deposit. Take a step forward and chase what matters. And back at Petco, the Astros strike quickly on a double by Altuve, a ground out and a sacrifice fly. But Black has set his line, but in fact he has reordered with the elimination of cleanup hitter Carlos Quentin, a late scratch. So it's Denorfia, Amarista in left hitting second, then Headley. Grandal moves up into the 4th spot with Guzman hitting 5th. Logan Forsythe, who originally was in the 2nd hole, now hitting 6th. And then Cameron Maben, Everett Cabrera, and the pitcher Kip Wells. Jay Happ, collegian at Northwestern University, where he was a history major. And Denorfia slaps one into right center, and over to make the play is Schaefer. Jordan Schaefer with a catch. 1 away, and here's the Astros defense with Maxwell, Schaefer, and Bogusevic in the outfield. Johnson at third, Gonzalez and Altuve up the middle, Moore at first base. Veteran Chris Snyder behind the plate handling Jay Happ. He has a little quirk. He wants you, if you're using his name in an article, he wants J.A. Happ. But don't call him J.A. and don't report him as J. Just call him J.
You can call him Ray J. You can call him J.J. You can call him Johnson. But you doesn't have to call him J.J.
Okay. That foul ball coming into an area where those ladies weren't quite expecting it. Oh, she says.
See, it's timing is everything.
And it lands in the right glove, doesn't it? Amarista. His play has been solid. He's spunky. He's got a little moxie to him. Supreme confidence. It's been inspiring the way this man has played. How about that infield hit yesterday?
Yeah.
Diving at first base and creating another run.
Still would like to see him run through the bag instead of diving head first, but Padres needed a hit there.
And he drives one deep to left field. That ball is off the wall on one hop. Amarista, as did Jose Altuve, greet the opposing pitcher with a double.
Maybe they'll stand next to each other out there. We'll see which one is taller.
Oh, that's right. We may get a little judgment here.
Tony, what were you talking about? Line drives the opposite way. Hey, this line drive bodes well for the Padres.
Yeah, the ball's elevated out over the plate. Justin Maxwell did the same thing Cameron Maven did. Little guy hit it. He wasn't sure if it was going to be in front or over, and the ball goes over his head.
Oh, boy, they got close to each other there. Pretty tough to discern which player might be the tallest. Chase Headley with a chance to tie it now for the Padres in the first. Excuse me swing for an easy out, 4-3. That's not what he had in mind. 2 away, and Amarista to third for Yasmani Grandal.
I'm wondering if Amarista and Altuve are going to be here for Wednesday's game. Is it opening day, Del Mar?
We'll see whether they wear their uniforms or silks. Yeah, we're going to have a big time on Wednesday with our Fox Sports San Diego Padre Live team at beautiful Del Mar. Get to the flavor of opening day, and then here for an afternoon game at 1 o'clock. Switch hitting Grandal takes a strike. Well, it's interesting when you look at Happ's numbers this year and his career. He averages almost 9 strikeouts a game, so you would think he's an overpowering pitcher, and yet he gives up more hits than innings pitched. That doesn't seem to shake out right.
Well, he throws 2 types of breaking balls, the curveball and the slider. We've seen the fastball already. He'll also drop the changeup on righties, and it might be a little deception in his delivery, or that breaking ball might be such a big breaker and it looks so good out of the hand before you commit, it's already out of the strike zone. We'll have to keep an eye on that breaking ball tonight.
Big swing and a miss.
Or he can pitch backwards at times, as Tony knows what that is. Soft stuff early and then
hard stuff late.
Pumps the fastball by you, where the breaking ball is in back of the hitter's head, possibly.
Which we saw a lot of in L.A. Hard stuff late was elevated in the zone.
He's also allowed 17 home runs, among the National League leaders. Chopper, did not make it over Happ. That would have been perhaps an RBI had it squirted behind the mound, but the Padres are gone in the first, and it's 1-0 Houston.
has, a way of really connecting with those guys, especially in bullpen sessions.
That's Buddy Black talking about pitching coach Jaron Balsley and how he has worked with his veteran pitchers, just like Kip Wells. It's our Geico quote of the game. Padres, 13 different starting pitchers this season, and Mark, Mike, and Tony and Dick. In fact, screaming in the booth today. But you know where we're going with that. Just the fact that Balsley has done a great job, especially with the veterans who are starting now.
Well, thank you, Layla. It's tough. Our roster is loaded with these outstanding ex-players. It's around our visits to other parts. You get people who watch Fox Sports San Diego and our coverage. And they're highly complimentary of the production, and that goes to all the men and women in the truck as well. Brian Bogusevic, who was picked out of Tulane, where Micah Owings was his teammate with the Green Wave, as a pitcher.
Yeah.
And they converted him to an outfielder. He's hit 6 home runs. He hit a damaging home run against the Padres in the trip down to Houston when the two teams split a 4-game series.
Well, everybody needs an emergency pitcher, right? Those blowout games, that position player that's going to toe the slab. And I'm guessing the Padres has got to be Kotsay.
Yeah.
Right, the former closer at Fullerton.
Fullerton, yeah, that's correct.
I'd feel very comfortable with him out there on the hill. Oh, now.
Nice you volunteering. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Kip Wells has his first strikeout. Time for our Saquon Daycation strikeout of the game, and here it is as Wells gets that sinker going.
Working down in the zone, way out in front of it.
Breaking ball at snapping 12-6.
Oh, yeah, believe it.
Chris Johnson, third baseman. Yeah, there are some statistics of which you're very proud and others that you wish wouldn't emerge, and Johnson has one of those. He leads the National League, leaving most men on base, 133 men left on base. So that means people are getting on in front of him, but not able to come up with the big blows. He does have 35 RBIs.
This Houston team's a real young team, too.
They're the youngest in the National League.
The fact that he's left that many guys on base gives you an idea how these young guys have found a way to get on base, get themselves in scoring position.
A little music inside. In fact, the average age of the Houston roster is 27.3 years of age. Washington is the second youngest team, and look what they're doing. And the Padres are the third youngest team. And a 4-pitch walk. Johnson is on. Well, let's go to our LEXUS keys to the game and bring in the commissioner, Mark Grant.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Enberg. Record-setting night. Yes, it could be for these Houston Astros, because the Astros, Dick alluded to it earlier, they've lost 13 straight road games, one shy of the franchise record. And guys, 9-35 record on the road this year for the Astros. Ouch. Houston, you have a problem, definitely. And win one for the Kipper. Hey, how about a win for the right-hander, the veteran right-hander? It would be his first win right here at home at Petco Park.
I like that win one for the Kipper.
Yeah.
Huh? A little Notre Dame reflection. 90 on the fastball from Wells to Jordan SCHAFER, 25-year-old Floridian who came over in a trade with the Atlanta Braves that involved Michael Bourne going to Atlanta. Stolen 20 bases, so he's got big time speed. Healthy cut.
Yeah.
Good breaking ball like it was. He's shown that tonight. He starts that thing in the zone and the bottom falls out. Take a look at the late break on that breaking ball. Look how Bogusevic with the same breaking ball.
That means he is getting really up on top of that breaking ball to get that 12-6 rotation. Split the plate on that one. Nose to toes curveball.
Line drive caught by Forsythe, and wisely Johnson had played it safely, leading away from first base, and could not be doubled up.
Tony, as a base runner, I know they always preach freeze when the ball is hit on the line drive, but how tough is it to? Because that is one rule that I've always felt it's tough to do.
It's hard, especially line drives to second base, because you got to determine as that ball is being hit that is it high enough to get over the infielder's head or not. And you saw Johnson there turn his back towards home plate, because he wanted to read it and make sure that if that ball did get by him, he could go to second.
Chris Snyder looks at a breaking pitch, strike one.
Yeah, because he took 2 or 3 steps off the bat. If that ball is hit more sharply, he's
hit right at him, he's going to be doubled off.
Top of the second, 2 outs. Johnson with his lead, 1-0 Astros here at Petco Park. And fouled at the plate. And for Monday night, some late arrivals, and we're going to have a nice crowd. Should have some good ones the rest of the week through the weekend when the Rockies are here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
You know, I love it when we come back from our instructional. Tony and I were coming back, and just to feel the buzz of the crowd on this Monday night here at Petco Park. Fans are all excited. The boys are back in town.
Yeah.
Little Thin Lizzy.
I think they were pleased with the action in Los Angeles, losing one game 2-1. Clayton Richard pitched well enough to win, and then taking the next 2 against the Dodgers.
Oh, by the way, what's with this foul ball that came up in the booth? Is it me?
After 3 years, the first one in here. Yeah, I thought you were going to catch it, and then I said, "Oh, you're not here."
I always thought you were good to your right, Mr. Enberg. I thought you were going to go dive over Trussell and get it.
Well, there's a big post here, and I see.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Trussell did a good job though, but yeah, he's over that way. Yeah, and there's the post. Otherwise,
no, the post is Trussell.
But I didn't want to.
The post is Trussell.
High fly ball, Snyder, and Maben kind of freezes and then locates it. And the Astros are gone in the second. They leave one. Padres coming up. It'll be Guzman, Forsythe, and Maben. Safari Park participating with some interesting wildlife before the game parading. Ooh, are those cheetahs beautiful or what? Nice. Some are awesome, cuddly, and some are interesting.
Wow.
And so, an ex-sportscaster.
I'm glad Andrew Castor's out here. He'd say, I'll make a pair of boots out of you. Hey, he lost his mouth.
Yeah.
He lost his. Hey, look out!
Yeah.
Look out, Snapper.
That's a lively one, huh? Must be a Padre fan. He says, "Come on, give me some action here." Jesus Guzman leads off the second. 1-0 Astros, and it'll be different form tomorrow. The parade of canines here at Petco.
The dog days, huh?
Yeah. Guzman out of play, and I should make the announcement because it's such a popular event, the annual Dog Days of Summer here at Petco Park, that the application period has closed. No walk-ups will be accepted, and there'll be the parade, and the fans are encouraged to decorate their dogs or give them special costumes. There'll be a tailgate party, photo booths, and the pet parade. So that's all tomorrow night. You have a dog, Tony?
No. Used to.
Yeah,
when the kids were there.
Yeah, we lost ours too. I know the man next to you has some furry ones at home.
I do. I've got a Labrador Retriever. His name is Chunk. And he's the man.
I bet
he's my boy.
Owns the pool.
Oh, He follows me around. Well, whatever. He never lets me alone.
Guzman checks and takes all three. 3-2 to Jesus, whose biggest work this season has been off the bench as a pinch hitter, hitting .309 with 2 homers, 9 runs batted in. So 3 homers on the year, 2 of them as a pinch hitter. High fly ball into shallow right center. Bogusevic is calling. 1 away.
So the point I wanted to make on that last pitch is it was full count, right? Fastball, but still Guzman can't really square it up, and it looked like a very hittable pitch, Tony.
Well, a little late life on that fastball here after going up in the zone a little bit. As a hitter, that's where you want it. Fastball, but got in on him a little bit. He beat him a little bit, and he hits that ball straight up in the air to center field.
Happ's going to touch 92, 93 tops on his fastball.
Forsyth, 2 hours before the game, he was expecting to hit second in the order, and then with a scratch of Carlos Quinton, move Amarista in the second spot and drop Logan down to number 6. He's in a modest 5-game hitting streak. And hitting at Petco Park, maybe some of the other boys ought to go over and rub shoulders with him because he's hitting .438 here at Petco.
You need to drink some of that Kool-Aid too.
When you look at his stroke, Tony.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Mud, you're absolutely right. When your mechanics are that good and you're consistent at doing the same thing, that's going to make the job easier. During this run, you see in his 5-game hitting streak, he's hit the ball all over.
He's got the line drive swing. He's got the hard ground ball swing. And obviously, he has shown he'll run into one.
Ball inside gets away from catcher Snyder, and the count's 2-2. J.A. James Anthony Happ from Peru, Illinois. That's just outside Chicago, isn't it?
It is. It's more towards like central Illinois-ish, maybe west.
Close to Argentina.
Yeah.
Ground ball to the shortstop, and Gonzalez with a good arm gets rid of Forsythe. 2 away, and Cameron Maben the batter. And this week on Fox Saturday Baseball, it'll be Josh Hamilton and the AL West leading Rangers. They're going to be up in Anaheim to take on rookie Mike Trout and the Angels. It's a showdown between those 2 division rivals, Texas and the Angels. Fox Saturday Baseball telecast presented by Budweiser begins at 12:30 Pacific, only on Fox. And then we'll be with you at 6 o'clock with Padres Live, as the Rockies will be here on the weekend. Maben, 3 hits yesterday. Doubled to right center, tried to bunt his way on, didn't make it. Safe on an error, and a couple of singles for Cameron. We're slowly raising that average from below the Mendoza line. He's up to 213, hitting almost 300 the last dozen games.
It's hard to raise that average once you piled up some at bats, and you should take it a little bit at a time. You got 3 hits yesterday and swung the bat pretty good yesterday, and now coming home you just want to try to continue to do the same types of things.
And sometimes taking a pitch and earning a walk and seeing those pitches can work to your advantage as well, right, Tony?
That's exactly right.
Now, how often do you look at a hitter when he takes a pitch, like in that particular instance. 2-1, fastball down the way. But when you read the body language.
I'll give you an example. That take he just took was better than the take he took before the All-Star break. And that comes from confidence, having some success.
Line drive, caught by the shortstop Gonzalez. So another good contact by Maben, robbed as Gonzalez just tall enough to go up in spirit. 1-2-3. The Padres go in the second inning. On to the third. 1-0 Houston. Watch the Padres and the Astros on Wednesday, a day game, 12:35 from the right field lower box seats for only $22.50. It doesn't last long, so don't wait. Visit Padres.com/on-deck to find the latest deals and promotions. A lower box seat in right field down beyond the Padre dugout for $22.50. And looking ahead, Thursday night is always college night, and that's become growing interest among all you young collegians who love baseball. Come out, meet the kids from other schools. They usually have some nice music out there.
It's always a party, huh?
Yeah, why not?
Got some great schools here in town. Come out and show show your colors of your school and your pride, and then root on the Friars. See some black and red out here, T.
Yeah, it's summertime.
Pitcher Happ takes a strike. It's 2-1. Gets an occasional hit. He's 3 for 29 this year. And you don't want to walk the pitcher to lead off the inning. 3-1.
He's pounding the strike zone with a good two-seam fastball or a four-seamer. Outfield shallow and playing him to go to left side and left field line.
Ground ball sharply at Forsythe on the edge of the grass to throw him out. Make him hit the ball. It might find a glove.
He hit it sharply too. He took a good swing, but 3-1 count. Number 9 hole hitter. Hey, go after and go ahead. Take your best shot. Fastball right there.
He did take a good hack at that.
Top of the order, Jose Altuve doubled to lead off the game over Maben's head in center field. Came around to score on a sacrifice fly. Squares the bunt, takes it away. Back in May, Altuve faced John Rauch, who was 6 feet 11 inches tall. So the difference in the two was 18 inches. There's no record of that sort of thing, but that may be the biggest differential ever. Oh, except for Eddie Goodell.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's the freak Bill Veck, leadoff midget hitter. What was he? 3 feet tall, 6 inches, something.
Yeah, I forgot what the number was. It 1/8 was his number on the back of his uniform.
Something. It was a fraction.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this: when the Padres go to New York, John Roush is going to. Well, they've already been to New York, right? Oh, so that's not going to happen. Thinking Amarista was going to maybe face John Roush
or Chris Young.
Yeah. Or Chris Young, exactly.
Out in front, 2-2.
He's had the good curveball all night tonight, and it starts in the zone. The hitter sees it, thinks he can put a good swing on it, and then the bottom falls out of it, and they go right over the top.
Nothing better for a pitcher when you get that feeling. You get the first curveball sign from your catcher, and you throw it, and it's a dandy.
Altuve wouldn't bite on the changeup. Full count on the leadoff hitter. Hard to keep him in the minor leagues. 327 lifetime average, and he's showing he can hit here in the big league level. It starts tonight at 297. Another curveball.
You can see by our Fox tracks, brought to you by my good friends at Southland Technology, Kip Wells keeping the ball down. That last pitch was the fattest pitch. And believe me, I know about throwing balls in the strike zone like that. You're not going to last very long. So he got away with one there, but he was out in front of that breaking ball. He went back to that curveball, which has been his pitch early on this evening.
Back again with a 3-2 pitch. And Altuve's on again. Second walk from Kip Wells. And brings up shortstop Marwin Gonzalez. The Astros, without one of their better players, Jed Lowry, has been placed on the DL with an ankle injury. Also catcher Jason Castro with a knee. So they're shorthanded. They bring up Carlos Corporan, a catcher, and Marwin Gonzalez, the hitter, you see now. Grounded to second his first time up.
Now let's see if Kip Wells, and Tony, you can interact on this. The curveball's been the pitch for Wells, right?
Yep.
Well, that would speed up his bat. He's got that big hole on that right side. Let's see if Wells would maybe pound 2-seamers away here. Because in this situation,
that's what I suspect he's going to do. But tonight he hadn't been able to consistently hit that outside corner with that 2-seamer. He's been able to throw the breaking ball and put it in the slots of the hitters like what they're seeing and decide to take a hack at it. And he did try to throw a changeup to Altuve in that at bat.
There's the breaking pitch in there,
and it's the backdoor breaking ball as well. So that's a good sign. He's placing that pitch perfectly. That's a tougher curveball, the one on the outside corner, to hook through that hole on the right side.
Yeah. Well, Dick and I were talking in the LA series about the Padres pitchers being able to command the fastball. Now, if you can command the fastball and mix that breaking ball in that he's throwing tonight, now you're cooking. You got many different options to choose to try to get hitters out. And thus far, the 2-seamer, he just really hadn't gotten good enough command of it yet to make that breaking ball even better.
You got a shot at Brad Mills, the 55-year-old manager in his third year with Houston. Played college ball at the University of Arizona. Runner goes, swung on and missed. Throw by Grandal, and he did not get him, as he could not hang on to the throw. Looked like that. If his tag's made cleanly by Cabrera, that they got him.
I think if he catches that ball, they're going to tag him out.
Ball was definitely on the first base side of second base. Grandal was out earlier this afternoon before batting practice, working on mechanics with his feet and his arm action. If caught, it would have been close.
Yeah, he'd had a shot at him.
Altuve's 16th steal. Good little leadoff man, isn't he? So with one out, Astros have a man in scoring position, leading 1-0 here in the second. Count 1-2 on Gonzalez.
The pitch that Altuve stole on was a two-seamer, and he located on the outside part of the plate.
Want to keep your eye on him. Third base is the easiest base to steal.
That's why as a pitcher you cannot one look Altuve. You have to one look him 2, 3 times maybe. Once. That was a one look there from Wells.
If he catches that,
oh yeah,
he's going to be out, I think.
Absolutely, from that angle, no question about it.
Ball hit Cabrera in the heel of his glove.
So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Marwin Gonzalez. Full count. Interesting. The steal of home by Cabrera has created quite a wave of interest in steals in general. Since 2000, there actually have been an average of 12 steals, successful steals of home per season throughout the majors. So it's still
I would have lost that bet. If somebody said that, posed that question, I would have lost that one.
You'd taken the under?
Absolutely.
Well, the question I would ask is, of those 12 steals at home, how many were straight steals?
Yeah, versus the double.
The doubles versus doubles.
Exactly.
I've been on the front end of or the back end of a double steal, and I really don't consider that steal at home. Honestly.
Oh, come on.
Honestly, I don't. We had Mark Sweeney in the pregame show. He was like, "Hey, man, I stole home. I stole home, but
stole home because the throw went to second base."
Exactly. You know, and I'm not getting on you, Mark. Not getting on you, Mark. Just want to show Mark Sweeney the focus. He goes to second base. He gets a late break. If the throw is on time, you know. So I mean, you get credit for stealing home, but I'm talking about the straight steal at home, like we saw Everett do. Like we saw Eric Owens do in the pregame. That is so difficult to do.
Jackie Robinson.
Jackie Robinson.
That was good stuff. Yeah, enjoyed that. And fouled again. The count remaining full. That was a changeup. Since 2007, including this year, the success rate of stealing home is only 29%. So it really is a risk more than reward play. That makes it all the more interesting that Cabrera would have the stuff to take the chance, win the Padres a game.
I contend that steal at home gave them the impetus in yesterday's game to do some things.
Line drive by Forsythe. Altuve had to hold, so he can only advance to third as the throw comes in. Gonzalez with a sharp single, so first and third with only 1 out here in the 3rd inning.
And for the Padres, thank goodness that ball was hit as sharply as it was, because as it got to Denarfi out there, as you mentioned, the runner on second base, Altuve has to freeze because from his vantage point, you know, he can't tell if it's right at Forsythe, so he's got to hold his ground. Ball is struck, hold his ground, gets through, and it's 1-2 hopper, 3 hopper. Now the double play is still in order with runners at the corners.
Murphy did the right thing. He came up, he hit the cutoff man. Keep the double play in order and hope we can get a ground ball right here. Turn 2.
Brings up Scott Moore, who knocked in the run with a sacrifice fly in the first. And this may do the job again. It surely will, as Amarista had to give some ground. Runner Altuve tags. The throw goes to second. Altuve scores again, and the Astros lead 2-0. The walk pays off for Houston. And Moore has the sacrifice formula going. Both fly balls to left field, both score a run.
That's execution. Altuve stole the base. He got the third on the base hit. Moore goes up to the plate and says, "Hey, all I got to do is put the ball in play, try to elevate something."
That's exactly what I was going to pose to you, Tony, because with that swing there, you talk about it all the time, how a hitter didn't have to try to do too much. It was a pitch away, it was up. It's just a nice, easy swing to loft that ball.
And it was elevated. Yep. It made it a whole lot easier.
Maxwell, a ground ball to short. Cabrera with a flip and the force, and the inning's over, but the Astros get another run on just 1 hit. Middle of the 3rd, 2-0. 5-3 win, and Miguel Montero against Bronson Arroyo. And you can get some pretty easy ones in that ball yard. That wouldn't have made the warning path here at Petco, but Montero part of the 5-3 win, a 13-hit attack for the D-backs. A bad day for the Reds, not only because they lost, they have lost Joey Votto probably for a month and a half to 2 months with arthroscopic knee surgery tomorrow. So the standings in the West at the moment, San Francisco idle. Game and a half over the Dodgers, who are hosting Philadelphia, and the Phils have a 2-0 lead in the third.
I can just hear my man Tommy Brenneman call Cincinnati Reds game. Boy, oh boy. Tough night for the Reds.
Cabrera takes a strike, and it's 0-2. Wells to follow, and then Denorfia as the Padres have fallen behind 2-0 early.
Well, it's nice for Everest Cabrera to take some time. Pre-game shows he looks at that curveball. Nice curveball from Happ.
Yeah, that whole drama of why he stole, how he shared the information, even with Jerry Hairston, the third baseman for the Dodgers, how he had it figured out, and the timing was so meticulous. He had to be perfect, and he was.
And thank goodness it was a long at bat, right? He was out at third base for quite a while.
Yeah, well, he was first and third, and nobody out. Cameron Maben comes up to the plate, and he fouled off like 6 or 7 balls in a row.
It's like an 11-pitch at bat, right?
So he got a chance to see Jansen and figured him out. But he's standing on third base with no outs. He's thinking somebody's going to knock him in.
Happ with 5 consecutive strikes here in the third inning, and then with the Padres down to 2 outs, 2 strikes. Cabrera said, if ever, this is the time. He said to Hoffman. Hoffman says, well, you better make it. He says, I'll steal it.
I tell you what, I wish you were here for this one, because I've been doing games for like 10 years. The first time I see Dick get up out of his chair as Cabrera was coming home, he got up out of his chair, and I've never seen him that excited.
Well, I was watching on TV, and I almost came out of my chair.
Another strikeout for Happ, who was taking care of Cabrera and Wells. I happened to be looking at Cabrera when he took off. I did too. And then when Greg Gibson, the umpire, called him out, then I might have set a new record for an old sportscaster in leaping in a booth. I couldn't believe that. Here he comes, and there's the timing, and watch Gibson. And at this point, he calls him out. And now it's safe.
And he was, in Dodger Stadium in the booth, you get that giant last step.
Right.
And Dick was all the way at the stair when Greg Gibson called him out.
I was gonna submit a formal protest. I was on my way to the commissioner's office. What a play. Talk of baseball. Denorfia, fly ball to center. Routine for SCHAFER as he cruises in to make the catch, and it's an easy 1-2-3 inning for Happ, and we've completed 3. The visitors lead by 2. Game road losing streak as we go to our AT&T trivia question tonight. Name the last switch hitter other than Chase Headley to hit 10 or more home runs in a season for the Padres. And that's the last one. A couple that might come to mind, but who was the last switch hitter to hit 10 home runs? We'll have the answer for you. Half inning. Brian Bogusevic struck out his first time. He went around. So the Astros been efficient. They've scored a run on one hit in the first and one hit and a run in the third. And Jose Altuve scoring both. The All-Star. Only 22 years of age, Altuve.
Well, he's getting a great opportunity with the Houston Astro organization with the way things are going.
I thought last year he showed that he could play at this level, and this year he's been outstanding. Made the All-Star team, and they're going to need a few more guys like him going to the American League next year.
Third year managing the Astros, Brad Mills. 3-1 now. And out of play. Bogusevic followed by Chris Johnson and Jordan Schaefer in the Houston fourth.
Well, I don't know how the scheduling is going to work out next year. I know there's going to be interleague every day with 15 and 15, but it sure is going to be interesting to see when that schedule comes out.
And he walked the leadoff man. Now 3-2. Well, the scoreboard had it 3-2. Now it's 3-2.
Well, 2-2 curveball misses. Why not throw it again? Or maybe a changeup.
Sharply hit. Headley off the line to glove and throw him out. Well, a reminder, if you're hitting the road the rest of the summer, you can take Fox Sports San Diego's coverage of the Padres with you. You subscribe to MLB.tv. You see every Padres out-of-market game live and online on your favorite devices and in brilliant HD quality. Visit Padres.com to order. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere.
I watched you guys on my phone up in Lake Tahoe, out on the porch, watching a big league ball game.
How'd we do? All right.
Awesome.
Pictures were great, huh?
Awesome as usual.
Got the final score right.
Yeah.
Especially the last 2 days. You got it right.
Yeah.
Chris Johnson walked his first at bat. Didn't see a strike, and the first pitch to him on this occasion out of the strike zone. That one's in there, called by Jerry Meals. Gary Darling, Paul Emmel, and Scott Berry from the first round to third. The men in black tonight.
Oh, he swung, didn't he?
I think that was just a
get out of the way
windmill to get out of there.
Yeah. Oh, he went.
Would that have been a double?
Did he go?
No, he yelled
yeah,
back.
he did.
Oh, come on. The ball bat didn't come close to covering the plate. You've been rested too much. That's a curveball. I mean, if he were umpiring, if you twitch, Tony, that's a strike.
They'd be arguing every night.
Gotta go.
Pitchers would love mud if he was umpiring.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And the foul at the plate. So tomorrow night, 6 o'clock Padre Live, 7 o'clock for the game. It'll be Ross Ohlendorf, 2-0 against right-hander Jordan Lyles. He's 2-5. There's Ohlendorf on Pet Night at Petco. Change up 3-2. Wednesday night, Clayton Richard against Wandy Rodriguez. Rodriguez is 7-7. And there's Richard. Get this stat. Wandy Rodriguez he has pitched 5 or more innings, 48 consecutive starts. 5 innings or more. Talk about a guy giving you quality starts. And that's a day game, of course, 1 o'clock. And then Thursday, another night game, Volquez and Lucas Harrell, who is 7-6 and leads the National League rookies in most innings pitched. So we'll get a chance to see some good pitching. The problem with the Astros has not been their pitching so much as not getting enough runs. Full count. In the dirt. Johnson has walked for the second time. 3 walks in the game from Wells. Let's go to Layla Rahimi. Layla, what do you have for us?
Well, just a preview of what is coming up tomorrow. We know it is the dog days of summer here at Petco Park. Too late, and you mentioned this, Dick, unfortunately, to bring your puppy to Petco. But the good news is you can still show your puppy to us on Fox Sports San Diego. Tweet us a picture of your dog in Padres gear. Is it going to get better than that one, though? Use the hashtag FSBooth, as in your booth. It could be used live during our telecast on Social Media Tuesday, and I hope that is a preview of some pretty good pictures to come, and that is a call to action, you guys. That goes for you too, Mud.
Okay, well, that dog.
Runner goes, delayed steal, and he is out of there. Good snap throw by Grandal, and Johnson erased.
That's huge, especially after the walk. Now, yeah, delayed steal.
Yeah, actually saw the ball loose, and I guess he took a gamble, but the ball was right there for Grandal to pick up and throw.
Might have been close.
Cabrera applying the tag. So 2 away. Base is now empty for Jordan Schaefer. And Wells falls behind 2-0.
Well, I was going to say that dog that was dressed up and could never play for the Padres because he's a dog. He never hustles, just loafs out of the box. He's a dog.
Watch out now, K9 community. Now, I was thinking a different way. That dog's looking at his owner and saying, just wait till we reverse this thing and I'm in charge and I dress you up.
That would be interesting.
That dog's looking at his owner and saying, are you out? Well, I like the San Diego part. That's a strike, 3-1. Do you ever notice, when you're out in public and people have their dogs, that so many times the person looks like the dog or the dog looks like the person?
Quite a bit, yeah.
You kind of grow together. Same hairdos. And another walk from Wells. That's 4. His pitch count up to 65 now.
You hate to see walks, but you especially hate to see walks down to the bottom of the order. Will be in the number 7 hitter, Jordan Schaefer. Now Snyder and Darren Balsley, the pitching coach for the Padres, will have a little chat just to kind of calm them down a little bit. Mentioned earlier that Kip Wells good for about 100, 105 pitches. He is now at 65. Just to let you know, here in the 4th inning.
His previous 3 outings for the Padres, his debut, of course, against Houston down in Texas, walked 3 and then walked only 2 in Colorado when he went 7 innings of shutout ball, and then 3 in the Cincinnati game last week, but 4 already tonight.
It really stems from he hadn't been able to command the fastball.
Yep.
And that's kind of job number 1 is you got to be able to command the fastball.
Catcher Chris Snyder up. And you've got the Astros' best base stealer now at first base. He has 20 stolen bases, Jordan Schaefer. He goes. Ground ball. Not quite in time. 21 steals now for Schaefer. Kind of thought the Padres might pitch out there.
Grandal did all he could do. Schaefer got a great jump. And when you watch this, the only reason he's safe, Okay, he barely got his hand in there, but a lot of times umpires are going to call him safe because look where the tag is.
Right.
You see his body get underneath, and a lot of times if you catch that ball out in front like that, you still have a chance to tag him before he gets to that.
Good curveball, and the count goes to 2 strikes on Chris Snyder.
Another thing, from the start of that, Kip Wells used the big leg kick as well. He did not use a slide step on that pitch where he stole second base. And some pitchers will think, you know what, I want to use my regular delivery so I can make a good quality pitch.
With 2 outs especially.
Right.
Focus in on a hitter, not really worry too much about the guy on first.
First base open now, but 2 strikes on Snyder with a pitcher on deck.
Once again, missing with a fastball. Of course, 0-2. I love when a pitcher goes down and away, 0-2. Now you can double up. You can go back inside. You can throw the curveball. He's got the best feel for the curveball, so you might see one here.
Sharply hit at Headley. Cross to Guzman for the out. So Headley positioned just right. A hot shot off the bat of Chris Snyder. Still 2-0 Houston.
Same approach. You know, you do the same things, and you can't worry about, you know, what the numbers say here versus there. You know, they are what they are, but you just go out and play. You try to do the same things, and you know, bottom line is you want to score more runs than they do. So whether it's 3-2 or 7-2, you know, 10-9, as long as we're scoring more than them, that's what matters.
Well, the Padres averaging less than 3 runs a game at home. That's last in the National League. So Headley talking about, you know, why is this more than a run more when you're on the road? You don't want to change things, and you couldn't applaud that more, Tony.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. You know, when there's a disparity in the numbers, that's what everybody's going to point out. Hey, why is it that you hit better on the road than you do at home? And you really can't change anything. You know, you just got to go out and try to hit line drives, and you know, hopefully, if you do it consistently enough, you're going to get your share of hits and put some runs on the board.
Amarista, then Headley, and Grandal right back to Happ. Another easy out. He's retired 9 in a row since Amarista's double with 1 out in the first inning. Time now for the Farmers Insurance report card. Padres record on the road versus at home. Batting average 24 points higher on the road, and they score 1.1 more runs on the road. And that's just ballparks are smaller. That's the major reason.
And you know, guys, I wanted to elaborate on that from a pitcher's standpoint. If a pitcher goes to a place like Colorado or Arizona, I think he has to stick to his strength. You don't pitch according to the ballpark, so therefore you don't hit according to the ballpark, correct?
Correct.
Hey, the bottom line is good quality swings are going to result in hits. Good quality pitches are going to result in outs.
But the temptation is when they just don't seem to be carrying as far as a hitter here at Petco. Oh, maybe I need to do something. Maybe I got to keep my weight back and really uppercut it or whatever. And that's a trap, isn't it?
What you're saying is change. I got to change something, and you really don't.
Headley, who had 4 home runs, 44 runs batted in last year, here on July 16th, he surpassed both with 10 home runs and 45 RBIs.
I really like Chase's swing right-handed right now. It's short. He's taking some really good swings. Really hadn't gotten a lot to show for it, but he's been extremely short to the ball.
Tap toward third. That's a tough play for Happ. The throw to first is in time. Good play by the pitcher. He had to get almost to the foul line to brace and throw out Headley.
Throwing from a different arm angle, you know, throwing towards home plate and try to hit your spots. You've got that consistent arm slot. The left-handed Happ rounds that ball, gloves it, and then goes from down under to get Chase Headley by a half step.
Well, that's a confident throw. If he's offline, that ball's rolling around the right field corner.
He made that look easy.
He did. Bounced off the mound pretty quickly.
So Happ doesn't need any support here in this 4th inning. He's taking care of both hitters on one, a comebacker, and that swinging bunt. Grandal also hit back to the mound his first time.
Well, we talked earlier how the Astros are going to be in the American League next year. Rumor has it, Mr. Enberg and Mr. Gwynn, when we were in Houston, they're going to go back to the old color schemes, the rainbow colors, and incorporate that in the team unis. Now, I'm not saying they're going to the rainbow unis, but they're going to incorporate those colors.
There's a hint of that as Grandal hits that one off first and out of play. Their media information, both teams publicize their statistics and notes about their team before every game. And the Houston media information sheet has the rainbow colors on it. Maybe that's true.
Tony, what do you think? Does that remind you of Enos Cabell?
Bob Nepper?
Oh, yeah.
There they are. I always like that uniform.
Billy Doran.
Even Nolan Ryan looked all right in that unit. 1-2 to Grandal. Padres have only 1 hit. Hammer East in the first inning, a double. 10 straight out since. Bouncer to third. Johnson across. Boy, J.A. Happ owning the Padres tonight. Double and a sacrifice fly in the first, another run on a walk, a single, and another sacrifice fly by Scott Moore as we go to our trivia question, or AT&T trivia question and answer. The last switch hitter other than Chase Headley to hit 10 or more home runs in a season for the Padres is Milton Bradley. Some of you may have been caught in that one. Caminiti.
I was. I was caught.
You got me.
That's a good one. So Kip Wells goes to the 5th inning, trailing 2-0. It'll be Jay Happ, then Altuve, the troublemaker for Houston tonight. On twice, scoring 2 runs. And then Marwin Gonzalez. Happ hit it hard the first time, but right at the second baseman Forsythe. That's the fastball command you want, right at the knees for a strike.
That looks like he kind of knows what he's doing up there. He took that breaking ball nicely. And it's really been Wells' best pitch tonight is his curveball.
Yeah, he's thrown to him like he's a number 5, number 6 hitter. He's not going to ease off on Jay Happ.
1-2.
Looked like maybe a 2-seam fastball he took a little off of, or maybe a hard changeup. Maybe a 2-seam fastball from Kip Wells that last pitch. Creates some late movement.
Arizona has won in Cincinnati 5-3. San Francisco idle. Philadelphia leading the Dodgers 3-0 in the 4th. For right, 3 on Hop as Kip Wells has his second strikeout. How about the curveball, gentlemen? Let's take a look at what Wells is delivering tonight.
I just felt like this has been his best pitch all night. And he started that thing in the zone, and guys are swinging and ended up out of the zone. Guys swung over the top. There to Johnson, he throws one for a strike. Again, in the zone and out of the zone, and he just took out Jay Happ on the same breaking ball. And if he can start to locate his fastball, that's going to only make it better.
Well, here's Altuve. He takes a strike.
And hopefully he finds that groove with that located fastball for strike 1 to Altuve. That was a perfectly placed 2-seam fastball right on the outside corner.
Altuve a year younger than the Padres' Amarista at 22.
Oh,
no. Stepped right into that fastball. As my old partner Don Drysdale would say, you know, they just hit themselves sometimes.
Well, he definitely wanted to go inside.
Yeah,
he wanted it down and in, but it just kind of leaked on him.
2-seamer, look at it run in. And
I hope it, that with the bat and the wrist, that's where damage can be done. Right off that, looked like the left hand.
Yeah.
You know what that reminds me of, Tony? And I think you were there for it. Remember Jeff Bagwell?
Yeah.
Doug Brocail, right?
Yeah.
May have hit him?
Yeah.
And Doug Brocail is the pitching coach now for the Houston Astros.
Anytime you get hit on the hand, all those little bones in there. And, you mentioned Jeff Bagwell. He got hit on the hand so many times. He just had a batting glove made with a giant pad on the on the top because he got hit in the hand so many times.
You mentioned the little bones in your hand. Imagine his are even littler.
So he's on base again, and so far, fortunately, nothing serious. He's even smiling now. Marvin Gonzalez single to right field his first time. Altuve, good base stealer. His steal tonight was his 16th.
I would have to say, that was close. He's got to be going here.
He was going. Yeah, he was going. And that time, that's why pitchers will, after you hit a guy. Ooh, I think they did get him.
He did. Yeah, his hand had not reached the base when Guzman applied the tag.
That's why after you get hit by a pitch, a lot of times they'll throw over the first just to let you know that they hadn't forgot about you.
Ball gets away. Altuve's in scoring position again. Now you hit batsman in a wild pitch. Formula for disaster. 1 out. And the Astros now a chance to add to the 2-0 lead.
Great anticipation by Altuve. Secondary lead. He came to a complete stop and he saw daylight between catcher and baseball and off to the races. A free 90 feet. Quite frankly, I thought we got hosed on that call at first base.
Yeah, he should have been out, but was not so called. One and 0 to Marwin Gonzalez. Trying to bunt his way on.
Yeah, and one thing I just picked up, guys, we talked about this earlier in the year, but the back foot. You notice the back foot of Marwin Gonzalez on that bunt attempt was behind home plate, out of the box. His back foot completely out of the batter's box.
Why would you want to be out of the batter's box if you're bunting? Wouldn't you want to be forward in the batter's box?
You would, and we've talked about this many times, but if that back foot right there is out of the box on contact, the ball's in play. The umpire can bang him.
Yeah, he's well
Call him out.
He's well in the box now. Another ball in the dirt.
So this was earlier. Watch, see the foot?
He's out. Yeah, he's
out of the box. If that ball
stepped on, he's out.
If he puts it in fair territory, foul ball.
Can't step on the plate.
It's okay.
Can't step on the plate. Doug Harvey told me that my rookie year. Son, you cannot step on the plate.
Regardless of what happens, you're
regardless,
out.
You step on the plate, you're out.
That's never called.
Yeah, you're right. Never called.
2-1 now to Gonzalez. And another ball in the dirt. He's wearing out the baseball supply tonight. Every time it hits the dirt, in comes a new ball.
You know what was great about Doug Harvey? You could talk to him.
You could talk to him. That's why.
You could beef with him, and he'd give you about 30 seconds. He would just stand there. Okay.
And when he'd heard enough, he'd say, okay, that's it.
You can walk back, or
you just
you're
need
gone.
to leave, or hey, go back to hit, or go back to your position.
8th 3-ball count. Kip Wells is now at 80 pitches with this one. And he's low again. So hit batsman, a wild pitch, another walk. That's 5 walks. And he's struggling with his control. Don't miss the Summer Sky Blast presented by Verizon this Saturday night, July 21st. The Padres and the Rockies. It's an early game, 5:30. Padres will light up the downtown sky. They say Petco has never seen anything like this one. So get your tickets tonight at Padres.com. Saturday night.
Well, we promise you it'll be more than 15 seconds, folks.
Great moments in San Diego history. Fans, folks that have camped out all day look at each other. I've never seen an opening like that.
Boom goes the dynamite.
Now Ballsy, another visit to the mound in Kip Wells. Padre bullpen is getting busy. No one out here in the 5th inning. 2 men on.
Nick Vincent
just called up.
Yeah, on the left, and Alex Hinshaw on the right.
Vincent recalled from Tucson, and Miles Michaelis back to the AAA farm team. Wells has put a couple of men on, and now the big guys come up. Scott Moore up twice, 2 sacrifice flies to lift his RBI count to 45. And he has 3 of the 5 home runs hit by Houston this month.
Well, he struggled with location. It just takes one good quality pitch to try to roll a grounder here and get 2.
Well, everything seems to be low.
Yeah.
Bounce in every pitch, fastball and curveball.
In fact, the last few curveballs, guys, have been bounced.
And where he was having success early in the game, throwing that curveball that started over the plate and ended up out of the zone. Now they're starting to let that go. Consequently, Wells is falling behind in the count.
Remember, as a pitcher, if you're struggling like this, you can always look towards second base and possibly put on a pickoff play.
3-0. Curveball. He is really struggling now. 5 walks and a hit batsman, and he's 3-0 on Moore, about to load the bases on Wildness.
And Darren Ballsy wants to know who's ready to go.
This could be his last man. And on a 4-pitch walk, Scott Moore's aboard. Bases are full, all on Wildness. Oops, late strike. 3-1. So maybe Wells can dig out of this. Got a call there. And a line drive left field. Amarista plays it on a hop. The runners can only move up 90 feet. So the bases are loaded. Altuve to third. Gonzalez to second. Moore continues his good night. 2 sacrifice flies and a line single. Still only 1 out.
I've got a confession to make, guys. I wanted Amarista to be a little greedy there and try to get that baseball, and it probably could have been, it would have been the right play. I mean, the perfect timing. But, in this situation, play in front of you, you can get a ground ball and get 2 and get out of this inning. If that ball gets by him, it's trouble.
And Kip Wells knows that's all on me, that the wildness cost him the early exit here in the 5th inning with 1 out. But Black and the Padres can ill afford a big inning from the Astros, who already lead 2-0. Get away for the day at the all-new Sycuan Casino, San Diego's destination for casino gaming and excitement. By Total Recall, in theaters August 3rd. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealer. Nick Vincent comes in to pitch for the Padres. Just called up today from Tucson. And this is a big spot. Get out of this inning and maybe a double play ball and keep it at 2-0. But it's an interesting matchup as you look at his numbers. He's been up and down. A brief cup of coffee earlier this season, 4 games, picked up his first major league win. At the plate is Justin Maxwell. Bases loaded, and Maxwell, in his brief career in the major leagues, listen to this. In 4 career at bats with the bases loaded, he's hit 3 grand slams. Oh my.
Wow.
In fact, his first career hit was a pinch hit grand slam while he was with the Washington Nationals. Hits that one upstairs, and a good catch made by a fan in the first row of the upper deck. Just be careful up there. That's a pretty short barrier in front of you. He leaned over and made the play.
That is a great catch, and you're absolutely right, Mr. Enberg.
That's scary.
Yeah. Nice catch, though.
He's got to give it to his friend. There you go.
Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Now, Vincent is known for his cutter, right? His cutter and his slider. So the idea here, if he throws a good quality slider or cutter down and away off the end of the bat, but the key is if it's a slow roller, that works to the advantage of the Astros. He won't be able to turn 2.
Ooh, tied him up on the fist. Good pitch. Of course, you got the double play 1, 2, 3 as well. Should Vincent get a comebacker?
You know, this is good for pitchers like Nick Vincent in a situation like this. Bases loaded, only 1 out. You know, see what he can do in this situation.
Good stop by Grandal. Altuve hit by a pitch at third. Gonzalez at second, Moore at first on walks, or Gonzalez with a walk and a single by Moore to load him up, as Wells allowed only 2 hits, but 5 walks and a hit batsman. Ruse his wildness as he watches Vincent try to bail him out here. Way outside again.
And Buddy said before the game that there are some arms down in that bullpen for the Padres. They're a little fuzzy tonight, so Nick Vincent getting a chance to leave Kip Wells' runners out there stranded.
Maxwell, a .355 hitter with the bases loaded. How to play.
Vincent's going to have to make a pitch here. He got ahead of Maxwell 0-2, and then he threw him a slider away, and he didn't swing, and another breaking ball away, he didn't swing, and now the fastball he fouls off. So he's seen 6 pitches already.
And you don't want to go 3-2.
Don't want to go 3-2.
Struck him out. Got him on a pitch out of the strike zone. Big strikeout for Vincent. 2 away. That's the cutter.
Yeah, Dick, good call. You can see it out of his hand. Ball kind of spin a little bit, stays on the same plane. A slider will have that tilt down and away. That ball off the plate. Nice pitch, big pitch by Nick Vincent.
2 outs. Bases still loaded to Brian Bogusevic. Has a grand slam in his major league career. Big turning point in this game if Vincent can bail Wells out of this trouble.
Huge.
1-1.
This is how relievers such as Nick Vincent walk away with victories. You come in a situation, you trail by 1 or 2, you get out of this mess, your team goes to hack, and next thing you know, you take the lead, you're the pitcher of record. It's all good.
You know, Nick Vincent coming into this game, he's thinking exactly that. Hey, if I can hold them here, give my team a chance to put some runs on the board, hey, I might walk out of this with a chance at winning the game.
2 balls and a strike with the bases loaded, 2 outs. He's a pitch away.
Now that was a straight fastball.
Yeah.
Rather than the cutter or slider, so that ball has a little bit more giddy up than the cutter.
The Astros with the bases full. 2-2 coming up. Full count, and now pressure on Vincent. Has to throw a strike. Runners will be off. Altuve from third. Gonzalez at second. Moore at first.
Looked like a backdoor cutter there.
It's awesome what a baseball can do, huh? Bring a smile to somebody's face. That's awesome.
Never fails. 3-2 again. Ground ball to second. Forsythe to first. What a job. Welcome back to the big leagues. Nick Vincent pitches out of a bases loaded 1-out jam, and Kip Wells leads the applause. Wednesday, and we hope you'll join us. A special edition of Padres Live from opening day at beautiful Del Mar. Mike Pomerantz and Mark Sweeney and the crew will be out at the great racetrack, one of the best in all the world. Broadcast live from the paddock before the first pitch and the first post. Padres Live from opening day at Del Mar, Wednesday at 11:30 on Fox Sports San Diego. Then a 12:30 game, Clayton Richard and Wandy Rodriguez here at Petco.
I'll tell you what, if I could just comment, if I could go back in time and hang with Pat O'Brien and Bing Crosby
and Jimmy
Durante as they teed things up for Del Mar, would that be some kind of nice.
Jesus Guzman trying to break this string of 11 straight outs recorded by the left-hander Jay Happ. Guzman flying to right, his only at bat. The only base runner, Amarista, 1 out double in the first inning.
Just watching the Padre hacks tonight against Happ. He must hide the ball pretty well because guys are not, other than Amarista in the first inning, there hadn't been a whole lot of good hacks against him tonight.
That's unbelievable, Tony, because when you look at the numbers this year, the opposition on the road has been taking some good hacks. 0-4 with a 6.8 ERA for Happ.
Another pop fly, this one on the infield. Shortstop Gonzalez. That was sky high. 12 in a row. What's happened to all that momentum building in Los Angeles? Being stifled, smothered by the pitching of Jay Happ, who has a 5.14 ERA. But folks, looking back against San Diego in 4 starts, his ERA 2.74. So he's been tough on the Padres. Forsythe grounded to short. Happ throwing strikes.
Yep, he's throwing strikes. Throwing all his pitches for strikes.
Forsythe late on that swing, a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Cameron Maben on deck. Needed only 2 hits to get the first 2 runs, Houston. And the Padres with that 1 base hit, Amarista's double. Forsythe trying to extend a 5-game hitting streak. Works the count to 2-2.
I know we've talked about it quite a bit, guys, but Logan Forsythe, he's going to be a good one.
Yep.
He does everything right. Doesn't let the bat affect the glove. He doesn't let the glove affect the bat. Gives you good ABs. Keeps his mouth shut, quite frankly, right?
He's got some clutch in him, too.
Yes, he does.
He's going to be a money player.
He had him 0-2. Now it's full.
Line drive, right field, base hit, right on cue. Forsythe, 6-game hitting streak. And the tying run will come to the plate.
You guys touched on it, and he's very consistent. And he isn't afraid to hit the ball where it's pitched. Fell down and count 0-2 and worked it to 3-2. Did not panic. Again, we talked about his lower half. He was able to repeat it. Puts a good swing on it. Hits the ball the other way. Makes it.
You know, Tony, if he tries to pull that ball, it's a grounder. We grounder to the left side.
Well, you know, you just hope that more guys will get to this same point because he just doesn't seem to get rattled, and he's kind of sticking to his guns, and he's having some success.
Ground ball up the middle. Flip to second for 1, but that's all they'll get. Good range by shortstop Gonzalez to take care of Maben's bid for a base hit to center. Let's go back to the second inning. Maben up, hit that line drive out.
You know, we were talking about Forsythe there. Cameron Maben, same thing. Right on the button. Got his foot down. Hand stayed inside of the baseball. And he hits the ball right on the button. Even this last at bat, I mean, he bounced it over the pitcher's head. If nobody's on, that's going to be a ground ball base hit up the middle. So Padres just need to get a couple of guys going in that direction to go along with Headley and Quint.
So 2 outs to Everett Cabrera. Took a third strike his first time. So you hear that expression all the time. It's used every telecast. Stay your hands inside the baseball. So a fan saying, well, wait a minute. What happens if your hands are outside the baseball? And then you say, well, then they're not following Tony's advice. You got to keep that palm up. Right. And that'll keep you inside.
Well, if you go around the ball, you're going to see a lot of ground balls to the pull side.
Long fly balls to the fans in left field corner.
Exactly.
Now Maben with 16 steals. He and Cabrera share that. With a pitcher on deck. But the pitcher is a relief pitcher, so you let Maben try to steal. If they fill the first base with Cabrera, then you use a pinch hitter.
You got 2 hits. You get beat 2-0. You can get a jump. We know how he can run.
1 ball, 1 strike to Cabrera. Vincent on deck.
It's somewhat of a gamble if he's going to go, because he's going to go on the first move as soon as that leg goes up.
Maybe he won't. Maybe he will, recognize the move. I think most people sitting at home think that when a runner goes against a left-hander that they're going on first move. But sometimes you can read them.
Hitting coach Plantier with Will Venable.
You got Dave Roberts in your ear over there at first base too to help you.
Tough year on the road for that man, Brad Mills. This team that's lost 13 straight on the road, but they're good at home. They're 24-21. Runner goes outside. The throw to second base, not in time. Maben just did skid in under the tag. Second baseman Altuve, number 17 for Maben.
He got a good jump. And the throw was high, and he sneaks in underneath.
Always important for the hand to stay in contact with that bag as the feet come towards the bag. He did a nice job on that one.
This would be a big run for the Padres. They can pick up 1 here after leaving the Astros with the bases loaded top half of this 5th inning. And the count goes to 3-1 to Cabrera. Now first base open. Does that change the process for Happ here?
Well, that was a 2-1 changeup, well out of the strike zone.
Is he going to pitch to Cabrera?
I think he's going to throw him something off speed, hoping that Cabrera will chase.
Ground ball to third. Up with it, Johnson. Throw to first in time for the out, and the Padres are gone to the 5th. It remains 2-0. Vincent. Yeah, first J. Happ. And then we go backwards to the first inning, and the ball driven over the head of Maben, the first man to bat. Altuve scored on the sacrifice fly. And then Scott Moore produced another sacrifice fly when Altuve had walked, stolen second, moved to third, and that's the story. 2-0. Vincent with a great job coming in the bullpen with the bases loaded, 1 out, striking out Maxwell, and Bogusevic grounding out to end the inning. So back to work. Vincent to Chris Johnson with Jordan Schaefer and Chris Snyder to follow.
You see Dave Roberts doing most of the talking there with bench coach Rick Renteria and Glenn Hoffman. You know, the only thing I can gather from that is those guys work diligently on watching the opposing pitcher and their moves and their times.
Dave Roberts picked up something maybe when Cameron Maben stole second base, relaying it to the other coaches.
1-2 now on Chris Johnson. His dad Ron is a manager at AAA level of the Baltimore Orioles. Ron, a former first base coach with the Red Sox, trying to work his way up the ranks as a manager. So this young man Chris Johnson has been well schooled from the time he first picked up a bat.
Maybe Dave Roberts was talking to Glenn Hoffman and say, hey, we get a guy at third base, let's try and steal home.
They got to get the guy to third first.
That hasn't happened yet.
2 hits, so.
There's that cutter outside, and the count goes full to Johnson, who has walked the first 2 times facing Kip Wells.
Ooh, look out.
Johnson's walked only 17 times all season and almost 300 at bats.
Oh, he likes to hack.
And yet he's walked twice tonight.
Wanted this one down and away. It leaks in to Cutter. You gotta be heads up when you got those seats over the dugout and near the on-deck circle.
A little Cutter away.
Some good plays made. We got some defensive fans here tonight making some good plays.
Got a cast on his right hand and glove on his left. And a baseball in the glove.
That guy's a gamer right there.
Three times up, 3 walks for Chris Johnson. The leadoff man is on again. Let's see what this gentleman did to collect that souvenir. He's got a cast and looks.
Wait a second.
He's got the glove. Is that a right or left-handed glove?
It's for his left hand, but maybe he didn't have time to.
Didn't get it on his left.
Yeah.
Now that's. What's your next act?
Yeah, that's a great job.
See you in Niagara Falls. Walk the wire. I can do it all. Jordan Schaefer line to second and walked. Houston plays for another run, or Schaefer thought he might be able to bunt for a base hit. Nevertheless, it serves as a sacrifice. Brings up Chris Snyder.
Guy's got the bad paw, but he could still eat the bread bowl with the soup.
Yeah, and she didn't spill a drop of the soup while he made that catch. I think we better get Layla Rahimi on the case and get the whole story on that couple.
I agree.
Snyder is flying to center. A hard ground ball out to third his last time up.
It looked like one of those clam chowder bowls in the sourdough.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You don't like those, do you?
Oh.
Does a dog love a T-bone? Two 2-0. Vincent falls behind Snyder. First base open, pitcher up next. Ooh, that one caught the cage of catcher Grandal.
Oh my gosh, we're getting texts now. People are watching and they're like texting me. I can't believe he caught that ball.
She doesn't talk like that.
Okay, she talks like this, like, hey, no, the text, look at, they said it was a great
You're
pitch.
making it worse. Just leave it to Layla, will you? 2-1 the count. Ooh, he got all of that, and fortunately it's way foul. That's going to go into the upper deck, maybe 25 feet foul.
Strike two.
Hey, now let's just go over here in the corner. This is a nice safe place. We can chat about what do you want to talk about. Whoa, incoming.
That's the last thing they expected.
She didn't get hit, did she?
No, I think that, but it ricocheted. We're the only folks in that area up in that aisle. So 2-2 to Snyder.
How about a cutter down and away here?
How about a high fastball?
Yeah, that'll work.
Second strikeout. Nick Vincent.
Well, as you mentioned, Dick, the four-seam fastball, yeah, it's got a little extra giddy up and gets up on that hitter a little bit more quickly rather than the slider or the cutter. Hey, Nick Vincent in second, 2/3 of an inning in the fifth, get out of that jam. He's 1 out away from pitching a good inning in 2/3 here and holding the Astros at 2 runs.
Happ, a hard ground ball to second and struck out. Took a third strike last time. Oh, he does take a nice big swing, doesn't he? Has 1 home run in his career. He came up through the White Sox organization, was a first-round draft pick. Check that, Philadelphia organization. And was part of the trade from Philadelphia to Houston 2 years ago at the trading deadline for Roy Oswalt. He was the primary pitcher that the Astros acquired from the Phils. That's in there. 1-2. Vincent, a local lad. Sure, his family, friends excited. He's back on the big club. Gave the low target, but too low. 2-2. Graduate of Ramona High School and Palomar Junior College. And then played a year or two at Cal State Long Beach.
Pretty good little sinker right there, 2-2.
Well, Nick Vincent knows his game. He's got to keep the ball down. He's not an overpowering pitcher by any means. The four-seam fastball has been clocked at 88 miles an hour, so it's got to be perfectly placed.
High, and the count full now on the opposing pitcher. Nick celebrated his 26th birthday just 4 days ago. Nice little late birthday present to get the call to come back to the major leagues. Ground ball foul, and Happ got good wood on that one. Ooh, bad hop. I'm fine, she says. Full speed. Didn't get the glove on that. Runner at second, 2 outs and 3-2. Coming up again. Fly ball to right, and Denorfia there to make the catch. Vincent wiggles out of trouble again. We go to the bottom of the 6th. The Padres need 2 to tie. call. The entire Petco Park is her territory. So let's go to Layla Rahimi.
Thanks, Dick. And that's right. You know as well as I do, when we have good fielding fans, we've got to give them some credit. Avi Guerrero with the nice snag and the cast on your hand, and you've got the ball, and you've got the glove. Take me through the play, Avi. What happened?
I don't know. It was just in the air. I mean, it was like reflexes, I guess. I don't know.
Those are some pretty good reflexes. How did you get the cast here?
How did I get the cast here? I don't know. It just came with me.
Right, but what happened to necessitate the cast, I should say?
I have a broken thumb.
So with a broken thumb, you managed to catch the ball with your glove on your other hand, and you saved the bread bowl.
Yes. Actually, I never got the glove in my hand. I just kind of held it on the outside. I don't know. It just happened.
So I know you guys were looking down at your phones earlier. Did you get some publicity or some warning that we'd shown you on our broadcast?
Actually, I was trying to eat some of the bread roll when everybody yelled, so I looked up and the ball was coming. So I just caught it.
You caught it. You caught it. You saved your cast. You saved the bread bowl. You ended up getting some food. How is the bread bowl, by the way?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
So nicely done, Avi. We appreciate the time and nice use of her glove, even if it wasn't actually on your hand.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Dick, Tony, Mark, back to you.
Thank you, Layla. Now, just like you talk the game, Tony, say it's a simple game. You know, you throw strikes, you hit strikes. He said, saw the ball, caught the ball.
Exactly.
Venable takes strike 3. Will pinch hitting for Nick Vincent takes a third strike. That's the third strikeout for J. Happ, who's pitching a beauty. DeNorfia, the leadoff man, comes up. He's flied twice to center field.
He really is. He's changing speeds. Again, I think the hitters must think he's a little bit deceptive because they really haven't been on the fastball.
You know, Tony, I was looking at his arm swing out of his glove. He really doesn't have that long arm swing to where the hitters can get a view of the baseball. It's kind of it's not a true short arm, but he kind of comes out of the back of his head in this hat very quickly.
Yeah. And decent good at giddy up, 92, 93. That's enough that you have to honor that. And then, you mix in the breaking ball and the cutter and the changeup.
Ground ball sharply into center field. Padres have their third hit. DeNorfia with the single. Tying run comes to the plate with one out here in the sixth.
It's like a breaking ball right there. He hit it right back up the middle.
We've seen that from DeNorfia many times. How you doing? Right up the center of the diamond, staying on that breaking ball nicely. Right through the wickets. Hockey suit.
So DeNorfia at first base for Alexia Amarista, who has one of the 3 hits, the double in the first inning. Hit back to the mound the last time. In the dirt, and a good stop by catcher Snyder. Happ, growing up in the Chicago suburbs, was the all-time basketball scoring leader at his academy in Peru, Illinois. Two sports star, 6'6",
yeah,
and a shooter.
Well, you can tell by remember that play he made on that bunt, right? Dropping down and throwing to first base. He's just I can see J. Happ on the hardwood, bringing the ball up, or maybe being a forward. What do you think, T?
I agree.
Broken back ground ball, a diving stop by the first baseman. Better hurry, and he just gets there in time before Amarista. Amarista out, first baseman unassisted as DeNorfia moves into scoring position. Padres need to get a dent on that scoreboard. Trailing 2-0, and here's Headley.
The broken bat. Moore made a nice play. Didn't trust himself to lead J. Happ to first base, so he gets up and does it himself.
And also not a bad play by sliding into first base. And the reason why I say that, because if he stays up, his momentum is going to carry him over the bag probably and result in a collision with Amarista. Nice pop-up slide right there by Scott Moore.
So Headley is grounded to second and hit one back to the mound. That was the play Happ made, sliding that swinging bunt toward the third base foul line. Raced off the mound, made a terrific play as he spun and blindly threw to first base from down below. And made a good play. A ground ball through one of the holes here for Headley. Takes it 2-0.
Hey Dick, how about a ground ball at the center field?
Your favorite.
How about a Fresca?
You always say that. What do you mean, how about a Fresca? Yep. You mean the old soda, the Fresca? They still, in the Midwest, I think you have to go all
pop.
the way.
We called it pop.
Yeah, can I have a pop?
Can I have a pop?
Yeah. Go to the ice box and get a pop.
They serve it on our charters.
Well, only because you raised such a fuss. 3-0 now to Headley. Oh, the green light him again.
Yeah.
Again, when you're having trouble putting runs on the board, that happens a lot.
Trying to pick up Denorfia from second base. Cut into the 2-0 Houston lead here in the 6th inning. 3-1. And at the knees, good pitch. Is this the first 3-2 count for second? Hasn't walked a man. Struck out 3. Grandal would be next. Struck him out. Well, the Padres haven't figured Jay Happ out yet. It's still 2-0.
Seventh inning, Kip Wells gets the start. Nick Vincent comes in, does a nice job.
Yeah, I got called up today, did a real nice job. Bases loaded situation, getting the big strikeout for the second out, and then he gets the ground out for the third out, getting out of a big inning that really could have cost the Padres.
Big shout out to everybody in Ramona, where he is from. Nick Vincent doing a whale of a job. When we see in the post-game show, guys, we're going to talk more, of course, about the game, but also our instructional how to steal home plate and highlights from big games all across the major leagues. And you'll hear from the manager, Buddy Black. So all that and a whole lot more on the post-game show, gentlemen.
Well, thank you. We'll be with you, Mike and Mark. Always having a good time, those fellas, aren't they?
They have a great time out there, and they do a great job out at that beautiful set that we have for Fox Sports San Diego.
Well, Mike Pomerantz, a longtime veteran in news and sports, and of course a minor league pitcher in his day.
He's a modern day Ron Burgundy.
Be classy, San Diego. and have a fresco. Brad Brock, the pitcher, and he works to Jose Altuve, has been on base all 3 times. A double and scored, walked and scored after he stole second base, and he was hit by a pitch the last time. Top of the order, Gonzalez, and then more to follow. Finally, one hopper to Headley, and Altuve is out. Padre games are always more fun when you come with all your friends in a group, and groups as small as just 20 can enjoy big savings, special seating, a scoreboard welcome, much more. Petco Park offers several exclusive group facilities to fit your specific group needs. Reserve your group tickets or your private suite, better yet, by calling 619-795-5555. It's not fair that some guys get all the hair.
Yeah.
I got in that other line behind you. Marwin Gonzalez. A ground out, a single, and a walk tonight. And buoyed by the enthusiasm of those 2 victories in Los Angeles against the Dodgers, a Monday night against a team that has struggled desperately in last place in their division, and 26,098 are here. Well, a lot of good fans, no denying that, here in San Diego. A lot of visitors too. We're glad that folks from Texas, and New Mexico, Arizona to come out for the Del Mar season, or just to get away from the intense heat in their state. High drive, that ball is hit very well. Maben going back, and the night air brings it down. Gonzalez out, 2 away.
Big one. We're out doing the instructional today. Lots of teams were out there out on the behind the field out there. So lots of teams coming out to the ballpark and watching the Padres play. I know we haven't done very much here in the first 6 innings, but you're only down 2, and a couple of knocks in a row could get you right back in it.
Brad Brock, who's been the 3rd busiest of the Padre pitchers, behind Luke Gregerson and Joe Thatcher. This is his 32nd game. That's a strike.
And believe me, for a pitcher, position player, to be that one guy, to be back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, as you take a look at the Dodgers and Phillies in the 7th.
Oh, that hit him. And Scott Moore, 2 sacrifice flies and a single, is a perfect 1-for-1 tonight. Rather not get first base in that manner.
You know, it takes its toll, not only physically but mentally, if you're that guy that's going back and forth from Tucson and San Diego.
Yeah.
Imagine back in the day, Tony, and you were part of it. I mean, not as far as being that guy, but when the Padres had their team in Hawaii.
Yep. They had them in Las Vegas.
It's nice to have that team close. Hour away flight.
Absolutely.
High fly ball, Maxwell, shallow center. And Maben collects it for the final out here in the 7th inning. Stretch half of the 7th. Will it be a lucky 7th for the Padres? Rollins goes deep for the Philadelphia Phillies. A solo shot over Ethier's head into the stands, and Ryan Howard's back, and he goes the other way to left field for a home run. That built a 3-0 lead. The Dodgers have come back to score 2, and they're now in the 8th inning. Ground ball deep to third. The long throw is in time. Grandal robbed on a terrific play by Chris Johnson, diving right to the foul line to take away a potential extra base hit.
That's a big league play right there.
It's also scouting, too, because that rolls right down the line.
1, 2, 3, and a dive. And throwing flat-footed, he didn't have a chance to get a crow hop. Quickly up to his feet and firing across the diamond flat-footed. That shows you the arm of Chris Johnson. And accurate as well.
Padres haven't hit the ball hard many times and are denied there. Jesus Guzman is fly to right and popped to short. Grandal upset, but you hit the ball that hard, you'll get your base knocks. Guzman to be followed by Logan Forsythe. Each team with just 3 hits tonight. But the Astros, thanks to Jose Altuve. Another chance at third, foul. Altuve in the first inning, first man up, doubled, moved to third on a ground out and scored on Scott Moore's sacrifice fly. And then in the 3rd inning, he walked, stole second, and came home on another sacrifice fly after Gonzalez had singled him to third. So that's the story. 2-0. The Padres 3 hits, double in the first by Amarista, single by Forsythe in the 5th, and single Denorfia in the 6th. Padres unable to get a man past second base tonight. 2-2.
Again, who's going to be that guy?
Full count.
Walk, a base hit, getting on an error, something. Who's going to be the guy to get something started?
That ball's hit well, deep to left center field. How far will it go? Off the base of the wall. And Guzman, just short of a home run, pulls into second base. Now that one was hit hard. I thought that had a chance to go.
Ball went to the deepest part of the ballpark. Guzman finally caught up in his fastball.
Yeah, you know, we talked about the good swings. Guzman gets a hold of it, hits it to the deepest part of the ballpark at 401. Then we talked about the home runs. If you're not going to hit home runs, the doubles and triples are fine. You know, I think this could have been a triple, because I think Guzman may have thought he had gotten that one, squared it up.
Yeah, he was into the home run trot.
So you got to be thinking 3 right out of the gate on that one.
Forsythe takes ball 1. Now how big is the play made by Chris Johnson at third, robbing Grandal? Padres would have a run. Instead, 1 out. Guzman at second. Forsythe representing the tying run. Ground out and a single to right field for Forsythe. Padres in the series in Los Angeles, amazingly, runners in scoring position were 2 for 24 and yet won 2 games. They're 0 for 4 tonight. Finally, the bullpen forced to get busy for Houston.
That's what I mean. I mean, the Padres were able to win 2 games really without swinging the bats all that great. And again, even a game like tonight, where you haven't really gotten anything going all night long, doesn't mean that you can't find a way to win it.
And Forsythe works the count to 3-0.
Well, the way I look at it, it's now the 3rd time around the lineup for J. Happ. Forsythe, Maben, if it gets that far to Cabrera, and you take a look at the 87 pitch total, throwing 4-hit shutout, it takes 1 to tie this game up.
All 3 pitches high and away to Forsythe, and then he comes inside 3-1.
And Dick, you mentioned it earlier, the clutch home runs off the bat of Forsythe that we've seen in the past. And look who's getting the batting gloves on, who was scratched from the lineup just before the game started. Carlos Quentin getting suited up.
Phil Plantier trying to loosen him up. Ball 4. That was a good pitch. Forsythe gets the benefit of the call, and the Padres have the tying run on. First walk of the night from Jay Happ.
Well, gentlemen, this is exactly where pitchers and Jay Happ exactly wants to be, right at the knees. Looks like he got squeezed right there according to Fox Tracks, but you know what? That's a big league hang with him, and the Padres have 2 base runners.
So Forsythe joins Guzman, and here's Cameron Maben, a line drive, leaping catch by the shortstop Gonzalez in the 2nd inning, and safe on a fielder's choice in the 5th, stole his 17th base. One big swing, and this ball game could be reversed in terms of the scoreboard. 2-0 Astros, and here comes Brad Mills, the skipper, and we'll see whether or not he's going to stay with Happ.
You've seen the same thing we've seen tonight. Yeah. Cameron Maben swung the bat pretty good against Happ. We got a right-hander, Rodriguez, down there in the bullpen. See if he gives Jay Happ another opportunity to face Maben.
Plate umpire Jerry Meals trying to hurry this discussion along. Are you going to make a change or not? And he takes the ball away from Happ. So takes out his pitcher with a 2-0 shutout at work. Well, they are desperate times on the road for the Astros, trying to end that 13-game road losing streak. So pitching change is made. Fernando Rodriguez comes in for Houston, and we'll take a break. Leaves the game working a shutout, 1 out in the 7th inning, a 4-hitter. Struck out 4 men, walked only 1, and that was when they took the ball away from him as Forsythe walked.
Well, we talked about the left-hander being kind of sneaky, topping out about 88, 89 miles an hour, but very deceptive with that fastball, and very upset with himself, maybe with himself or because he wanted to stay out there to try to finish this inning.
Really, he hadn't been in any trouble really all night long, and the first time he gets into trouble, Brad Mills decides he's going to take him out of the game right here, so you can understand the frustration. But I'll say it again, Cameron Maben had 2 pretty good swings against him, and he's going to play the percentages here with Fernando Rodriguez.
Look at the numbers. Rodriguez, 1 win, 8 losses. He wanted to go the distance with 1 swing. So the relief pitcher Fernandez 1-8 with a 6.29 ERA. but the bullpen has improved as the season has developed here late in July. Last week worth of relief work. 2 on, 1 out to Maben.
You know, I looked at those numbers as well, Dick, and they don't jump out at you, or they do jump out at you, but there's one other stat that maybe Brad Mills and Doug Brocail are thinking about when Rodriguez is out there. He's a strikeout pitcher. 36 strikeouts in 34 in the third innings pitched. Hoping for a strikeout right here or a grounder. Well, like you said, it could take one swing, and guess who would be on the hook for the loss? It would be the guy out there for his 9th. A 1-8 record for Rodriguez, as you mentioned.
.94 on the fastball. He's got a good heater.
So Cameron Maben here, just make sure you give yourself a chance to take a good swing. Down in the count. Got 2 pretty good swings at the fastball, so just make sure you get a good look, get in position, and take a good look at it.
Nice cut there.
Yeah, it's like the at-bat we saw on Saturday night, where he fell behind the count 0-2, and then he just battled. He fouled some balls off. He got his foot down on the ground. Trying to flatten that swing out through the zone. You've seen fastballs out over the plate here. And this is a situation where you really don't have to go up there thinking of having to pull the ball.
Well, Rodriguez throws fastball, curve, change, cutter. Mid-90s, he tops out with that fastball.
First time tonight that the Padres have had 2 base runners in an inning. The Guzman double with 1 out after Chris Johnson had made a brilliant play behind third to rob Grandal of a double. And then the walk to Forsythe on a couple of pitches that could have gone either way. Now 1-2 to Maben. Snyder may have gone out and said, hey, he's throwing some fastballs and he just missed them. Let's see if he'll chase a breaking ball. Able to hold back. 2-2. Cabrera might be next. Would Quinton bat for him? We'll see. Full count. Good patient at bat for Cameron Maben.
Again, he did this Saturday night. Just make sure that if it's a ball you're going to swing at, that it's in the strike zone.
Guzman at second. The tying run Forsythe at first with 1 out here in the 7th. And a full count on Maben. Another good swing. That one sails into the upper deck off the facing and turns downstairs. Rodriguez from El Paso, Texas. Went to high school there. Jay Happ, like Kip Wells, the starter, reduced to a spectator, rooting for the bullpen. Fouled again.
You can see by the Fox pitch tracks, Rodriguez is all over the place.
Yep.
Majority of the pitches are up. That was the 8th pitch this at bat for Cameron Maben.
And the other thing is, the only thing he's thrown for a strike is the fastball. And thrown the breaking ball for a strike, and thrown his cutter for a strike.
Game slowing down as this is a critical point. 2-0 Houston. Full count. 2 men on, 1 out. Ball 4. What an at bat for Maven. Bases are loaded. Oh, he earned that.
Well, as you mentioned, Tony, Rodriguez all over the map. That was a good pitch to rip at. But Cameron Maven knows that, you know, with the strikeouts come the walks as well. And this, we mentioned takes earlier. Some good takes by Cameron Maven.
Yeah. And again, the key, I think he recognized that the only thing he's thrown for a strike was the fastball.
That's good discipline right there by Cameron Maven.
9 pitches. He works his way to first on the walk. So bases loaded. The tying run in scoring position now. And Cabrera will hit. He struck out and grounded to third. Batting right-handed against Happ.
Whoa.
Ooh.
I think Rodriguez starting to squeeze it a little bit with the bases loaded.
Yeah, and I think hopefully those guys in the dugout were paying attention too. You got a left-hander down there in the bullpen.
You've got Alonso on deck. Is he a decoy in case they would bring in a lefty?
Yes.
And then you've got Quentin as a right-handed hitter. Scratched from the lineup tonight, so obviously he's feeling well enough to have a bat, and all the indications are that he's ready to go. Wild first pitch to Cabrera. Off third, that's going to seal out a play. Well, there with Cabrera, a much better hitter from the left side. He's hitting .272 as a left-handed hitter, only 140 right-handed, and right-handed tonight 0 for 2. So he's batting with his strength.
I think he got a little froggy there, swung at ball 2. The ball was up in the zone.
Guzman at third, tying run Forsythe at second, Maven at first. 1 out. And it's 1-2 now. Pitcher spot due next.
In this situation, you know you have to come away with at least one.
Alonso on deck.
This is loaded, 1 out. Or at least you'd like to get something elevated. Get it to the outfield.
Curveball and able to stay alive. Count remains 1-2. The outfield playing ever deep in center and left, and really medium deep and right. So they're protecting against the extra base hit. Sometimes that opens up the ball hit over the infield and shy of the outfielder. We'll see. One ball, 2 strikes. Cabrera, the hero on Saturday night, a chance to be in the spotlight again tonight.
Well, Rodriguez touching 95 miles an hour with that fastball. And as I mentioned, the majority of his pitch has been up. If he can get a strike that is up and rifle that ball into left center field rather than trying to pull that baseball, that spells trouble. Breaking ball. Nope.
Struck him out with a fastball. So 2 away. Padres can't score on an out. And it will be Alonso.
He just reached back and said, here it is. See how far you can hit it? And you can see how far behind Cabrera is.
Rodriguez happy with that pitch.
So Alonso introduced into the game. Meeting at the mound to go over the scouting report. And Bud Black looking at the possibilities. Possible pinch hitter as we move forward. We're in the last of the 7th, 2 outs and bases full for Alonso. Hitting .263 on the year. Picked up his 24th RBI in the Dodger series. Quentin taking off the gloves. The order has passed him by as we're down to the 9th hitter. Up to Alonso. Takes high, ball 1. Fastball hitter, first ball hitter Alonso. Pops him up. Center field, shallow. SCHAFER has it, and the Padres leave the bases loaded in the 7th inning. It remains 2-0. Healthy Pets Go. And by Nissan. Get to Nissan for the biggest savings under the sun. Nissan Summer Saving Days. Visit choosenissan.com. So the totals here at Petco Park in downtown San Diego after 7 innings. Houston 2 runs on just 3 hits, no errors, have left 8. Padres no runs, 4 hits, no errors, and have stranded 6, leaving the bases loaded in the last of the 7th inning. That old runners in scoring position statistic continues to haunt Padre hitters. Alex Henshaw becomes the 4th Padre pitcher tonight. There are his numbers.
And 2 of the 3 hitters due up for the Astros this inning. 2 of them left-handers, leading off with Bogusevic, Johnson, and then SCHAFER being left-handed. Numbers for Alex Henshaw: good fastball, breaking ball. Sometimes can have a streak of wildness. That's why strike 1 is so important for this lefty out of San Diego State. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
How have you seen Alex Henshaw mature, Tony, as a big league pitcher?
Really,
because you had him at State.
I did, and he really has matured. And he pitched a little bit with the Giants, and now here with San Diego. And you can just see he's a lot more relaxed than he was before. And he's throwing a lot more strikes than he did before.
Lefty on lefty as Brian Bogusevic fouls that one away. He was 0 for 3. Previous appearances, a strikeout and a couple of ground outs. Smack to center. Maben turns his back and races back to the wall, plays it off the wall. And into second base, Bogusevic, as he drilled the center field wall with that shot. Leadoff double for the Astros, trying to add to their 2-0 lead.
Bogusevic hits this ball so hard. Cameron really never got turned around to where he could make a play. So the ball hits the wall and gets it back in. Second base with a double.
You know, not only was I impressed with the way that Bogusevic swung the bat there, but he can run a little bit.
Yeah,
now.
he
got
can.
to second base very quickly.
Chris Johnson up 3 times, no official at bat. He's walked all 3 occasions. Not normally a man who gets that free ticket. 17 walks all season. Bogusevic at second base. Johnson, Schaefer, and Snyder then do for the Astros here at the top of the 8th. Yeah, that line drive was hit so hard that Maben didn't have a chance to get back. That was over his head. Just a clothesline shot off the bat of Bogusevic.
He had turned the wrong way and he wanted to spin around the other way to try to make a play, but it was already by him. Hit off the wall and he got it back in.
Randall and Hinshaw having trouble getting on the same page. Here is that line drive and a tough play for Maben.
See, he turns the wrong way and he wants to turn back the other way, but too late, it's over his head. And the ball in center field, sometimes that happens. You know, ball gets hit hard and you want to spin around to the other direction, but if it's hit on a line, it's very difficult to do.
You go back to the very first batter in the game, Altuve hit the line drive that he came in on, and then by the time he got back, it was over his head for a double. Ground ball just foul off the bat of Johnson. You know, it's fun to look through every day the Padres publish the statistics of all their minor league players in the games that were played the day before, the night before. And you kind of follow some kids that you saw in spring training, and then you know the current amateur draft class, and most of those young players are at Eugene, a half season up there. And on name alone, I'm going to keep my eye on a first baseman. He was drafted as a shortstop. K-A-L-U-N-K-I. Kalunki. Goose Kalunki. Went 3 for 4 last night, I'm telling you.
Great name.
Hitting 340. Goose Kalunki.
So they've got Beamer Weems, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Goose Kalunki. Very nice.
Beamer Weems. Been in the organization a couple of years. Another great name. I'm going to watch the old Goosemeister, I'm telling you. He's from Utah Valley University. Try 3 call off the inside corner.
It's a great pitch by Alex Hinshaw right there. On him some real good fastballs that he was late on. Wasn't that tight breaking ball in the inside corner. He can't pull the trigger on it.
Johnson thought it had curved inside. So 1 out to Jordan Schaefer, was lined to second, walked and sacrificed. Fastball. Dave Clark, the third base coach.
It's against the rules, isn't it?
It's a little close, isn't it?
That's gutsy right there. Turn your back on a left-handed hitter with a hard-throwing left-hander on the mound.
So, you know, I've never understood that.
What advantage does that give him coming all the way halfway to home plate?
That's giving him a chance to read if there's a base hit to the outfield. It gives him extra time to see if that guy comes up with it cleanly. And if he has to stop him, he's already down the line, so the runner could look at him as he comes across third base.
I can see that, but from a start position, I don't understand it. I think he should be in the box where it's located, because we know coaches that come down the line after the ball is hit and they get an idea.
Yeah.
I think that's against the rules.
But you don't find coaches in those boxes. You know, here the case over at first base is Bobby Meacham. He's off the box the other way.
Yeah, but that, you know, what Dave Clark is doing, that's come on, seriously. It's like a hitter on the on-deck circle. You know, the guys who cheat closer to home plate, back to home plate.
Carlos Gonzalez.
Keith Hernandez.
3-0 now as Hinshaw falls behind the hitter. And he loses him on 4 pitches. Now 2 on with 1 out to Chris Snyder, the catcher.
Introducing social media.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll get it right. Social media Tuesday, tomorrow. Fox Sports San Diego wants you to log on and share your thoughts during the Padres game. It's great for the fans to interact with us and Fox Sports San Diego. Get the conversation started on Facebook and on Twitter. I know, Dick, you're high into Twitter. You're into that.
Absolutely.
Plus, your questions may be answered on air. Like, follow, and log on tomorrow during the game right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
Tweet, tweet, tweet.
Yeah.
Balsley making another trip to the mound to talk with Hinshaw. 2 men on, and Chris Snyder, the catcher. Dale Thayer getting loose in the bullpen. Padres trying to hold Houston at that 2-0 lead and hoping their final 2 at-bats they can come up with a rally. Came up short, bases loaded, 1 out in the last of the 7th as Cabrera struck out and pinch hitter Alonso flied out. By the way, that Goose Kalunki was a long shot draft pick. He was 27th round. Oh, that almost hit Snyder. Ball 1. Hit a home run last night. J.D. Martinez is in the on-deck circle. Infield at double play depth. 92 on the outside corner. 1-1.
Bogusevic at second base. He's bouncing around like he wants to try to steal third, and Alex Hinshaw is having to keep looking at him because he's bouncing. And
wouldn't be bad to just, fake a pickoff throw to second base just to keep.
There they go.
Yep.
And the ball bounces in and it works perfectly. Both runners move up. You caught it.
You could kind of see he was bouncing around at second base, and Alex had to hold his look on him. And this time he one looks and throws a slider in the dirt.
So much can be picked up. You're right, Tony. A pitch or two before, but just even a courtesy move
we talked about
to second base
today in the instruction is that sometimes pitchers are creatures of habit.
So initially ruled a wild pitch, and now they've changed that is a double steal, and that changes the whole complexion of this at bat. Second and third with 1 out, so the infield has to come in. 2-1 and another one in the dirt. 3-1. Pitcher's spot next, but they've got J.D. Martinez waiting, and he's their top RBI man with 49 this year. No defense for the base on balls. Landau and the infielders coming in trying to get, come on now, let's go. Maybe a play in the works. Let's see.
Well, Dale Thayer looks like he is hot and ready to go. He's been up for a while.
Bogusevic at third. SCHAFER now at second. And that one's called ball 4. Bases are loaded. You mentioned earlier, Mark Rand, about Bogusevic for a big guy running well. That's his 10th stolen base.
I was very impressed with the way he ran out of the box on that hard smash double to center field.
Just watching him at second, he was, he had that base stealer mentality. He was bouncing around out there trying to get a jump, trying to figure out when he could go.
So with J.D. Martinez, a right-handed hitter, introduced into the game. Bud Black is out. Bases loaded. Just 1 out, and Alex Hinshaw relieved. And Dale Thayer is going to come in from the bullpen. You know, something that caught my eye this morning. This day in history, and it wasn't just that on July 16th in 1769, our good father Junipero Serra established the first mission in California up on Presidio Hill above the present Old Town. He had good taste, Father Serra. And San Diego, in essence, was born. And in 1920, I mean, you talk about the dramatic change in the evolution of the game of baseball. In 1920, the Major League home run record for a season was 29 and 20. Babe Ruth on this day hit his 30th on his way to 54 home runs. So it jumps from 29, the Major League high, to 54 with the Bambino.
Changed the game just like that. Game changer, George Herman Ruth.
So Dale Thayer comes in. He does have the same challenge that his teammate Nick Vincent had, coming in with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 5th inning, and Vincent was able to pitch out of it. Kip Wells had loaded them up on a hit batsman, a walk, and a single, and Vincent did a great job. Now it's up to Thayer with the bases loaded and 1 out.
Hey, look who's in the house.
The quarterback from UCLA, Dallas Cowboys, Mr. Troy Aikman. Ran into Troy. I was just walking, taking my morning walk in La Jolla, and he's spending a month out here, and we're the nation's finest city. This is part of the minority baseball group that is with Jeff Morad. So he has a particular interest in the Padres and their future. Right-hander against right-hander. Thayer against Martinez, a power hitter.
Ooh. He's got one thing in mind, doesn't he?
Yep. Coming right at him. Johnson with a fastball there up in the zone. He fouls it straight back.
Martinez with 11 home runs and 49 runs batted in, bases loaded, infield playing halfway. The Astros trying to get more on this 2-0 lead. Bogusevic at third, Schaefer at second, and Snyder at first. And a 2-strike pitch. Got into his kitchen there. A good fastball on the inside edge.
Yeah, that had a little two-seam action to it.
He did.
Really
Ran
tying
in
up
on his hands. He couldn't get to it. Really did the best thing that he could do, is foul it off.
Two-seam action down and in, and something that Dale Thayer does quite well is the next pitch, 0-2. You know, he'll go up the ladder with that fastball. Or waste a breaking ball down and away.
Ooh, late swing, and that one right past the camera well. And Layla had got to charge those line drives.
I tried. I really did.
Where's your glove?
I need that guy's glove. I should have gotten it, but I think he wanted to hold on to it, given that it was so successful the last time.
Hey, even that pastry bowl, you could catch it in the pastry bowl. It's empty now. Go up and see if they'll loan that to you.
I need to get his bread bowl. Ari's bread bowl. Good call.
Goes to the breaking pitch, and Martinez checks back. 1-2. One out. The Astros with the 2-0 lead, and the base is full for the pinch hitter, Martinez. That's exactly what you were saying, Mark Rad. Go to the high fastball.
You guys think he went?
I don't think he went that time.
Oh, come on, T.
I wish he did. But
well, let's check it out. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, he checked. Come on. Barrel of the bat didn't even hit the back end of home plate. We got to get you back in the groove here. You had too much time on. Struck him out. Thayer gets the second out with the bases still loaded, and we go to the top of the order and tough Jose Altuve.
Tony, it looks like that Thayer went back to that two-seam action fastball, down and in, and you can see Martinez cannot get those hands extended. Good pitch.
I think you were asking about going around the baseball. That last swing, that's when the two-seamer's running like that and you're going around it, you can't get to it. You can't get to it.
Altuve, swing and a miss. Has a double and scored in the first. He walked, stole second, and scored in the third. Those are the two Astro runs. That's why this man was the representative of the Astros in the All-Star game in Kansas City. At 22, one of the youngest. And Thayer ahead, 2 strikes. He's a tough man to strike out, Altuve. Struck out only 47 times in 330 at-bats.
Like Nick Benson, this is a huge out right here. If you can get this out, you're still in the ball game.
To right center, Maben's tracking it down. Great job, Dale Thayer, as it was for Nick Vincent back in the 5th inning.
With a pair of exclusive Padres sunglasses. These are really bitchin'. Watch your Padres battle the Astros Thursday at 7:05. Receive a pair of Padres sunglasses presented by Knockaround Sunglasses, as it's modeled by my good friend Dr. D, rapper Dick Enberg. Get your tickets today at Padres.com or 619-795-5555. Yo.
You can't say yo on television. Boy, it got dark in here. These things work, huh? These are good.
These are really
got
nice.
The little San Diego Padre logo on the sides. Let's see. When are those given away?
What's that?
You said yo.
You know, every time I think of that, T, I think of back where you and I were playing.
Wilton Lopez is the new pitcher for Houston. Excuse me, I don't want the game to interrupt here. And Denorfia is the leadoff man here in the last of the 8th inning, 2-0. Go ahead.
For some reason, I would always laugh, and you would always laugh whenever one of us would mention Yo MTV Raps. Remember that?
Yep.
Back in the day? Oh, gosh. And you'd start singing, we're going back to Cali.
No, Greg was
Cali.
Greg Looker would.
On our last day
and then,
in Yuma, when we go to Palm Springs and finish up in the spring training.
So Thursday night, get your free sunglasses.
These are nice.
And you'll also see Edinson Volquez go against Lucas Harrell, rookie for the Astros, who's a solid 7-6. Denorfia trying to start something here in the 8th against Lopez. And he takes strike 3.
Boy, great sinker from Lopez. You know, we talk about backdoor breaking balls. This is a two-seamer that comes right back on the outside corner to get Denorfia.
Well, he's thrown in 3 or 4 of them in on his hands, and then he backdoored him with that two-seamer. After looking for the ball in, it's tough to stay in there and try to put a swing on that ball away.
Lopez, familiar name in the Padre organization. Signed with the San Diego Padres 5 years ago. He played up the ladder in the minor leagues. Fort Wayne, Lake Elsinore, San Antonio, Portland, when Portland was a AAA club. So you fans seen him as he tried to move his way to the big league club. He was claimed off waivers in April of 2009 by the Astros. So he remembers that the Padres let him go. He's had a good season, 3-0 in 33 games. Amarista, and the count goes 1-2. Lopez allowing only a .238 average. Fans having a good time down there. Look at that young lady.
That guy dove over 2 rows of seats to get that foul ball.
Line drive, base hit. Amarista has his second hit tonight. And the tying run will come to the plate with 1 out in the 8th inning.
I think that's one of the softest swings that I've seen Amarista take since he's been in a Padre uniform. Just tennis lobbing that ball out in center field.
He stayed on this one really nice. A little bit out in front, and he had to let go with his bottom hand to keep that barrel in the zone, and lines it into center field for a base hit.
The more you see, the more you like in this scrappy young infielder, outfielder, left fielder tonight. Don't forget, Carlos Quentin is still in the dugout, has not been employed tonight. Chase Headley 0 for 3. That looked pretty good. Headley is grounded out twice and struck out in the 6th.
Looked like Chase Headley was telling Chris Snyder, no, that's out. Seamer away.
Runner goes, and he is in. Amarista with his 3rd stolen base.
Yeah, I think a good throw may have had him.
Yeah, I think that Altuve or Gonzalez tries to put the tag down, and it's before the foot gets there, but he's got to catch the ball first.
Yeah, even though this ball is on the shortstop side and a short hop, you're right, Tony. If that ball is snagged, he's out.
Yeah, he catches it. He's out, but he didn't catch it.
Like what happened when Cabrera stole home the other night. He might have been out, but you got to have the ball in the glove.
Have the ball.
Is that? I got to write that. What was that again?
Oh,
Yeah, you got to have the
just
ball.
write Greg Gibson. He'll tell you about that. Ground ball at first base, and a good play made there by first baseman Moore. And there's 2 away. He's had a chance a couple of times tonight. Been in scoring position.
You know, I'm going to be play devil's advocate here. You're Greg Gibson, right? Put yourself in his spot. How many umpires actually watch the flight of the ball when it is thrown? He was just watching the play, saw the reaction from the catcher, and assumed he had the ball. And I'm just trying to look at it from both ends here. You know, umpires don't watch the path of the ball. Now, if it's eye level, absolutely.
And another ground ball, this one by Grandal, and the Padres leave another man in scoring position. They're now 0 for 7, now 0 for 8. The runners in scoring position. And Nick Vincent comes in, strikes out Maxwell and gets Bogusevic to ground out. And then the next inning continues his fine pitching. And then Thayer inherits a bases loaded 1-out situation. And he does the job, striking out Martinez and getting Altuve to fly out. And that's what they're paid for. Come in trouble looming, and with the bases loaded 1-out in both instances, Nick Vincent and Dale Thayer do the job.
Yeah, the relievers coming in, giving the offense a chance, keeping them at 2. They've done a fine job.
Yep.
So the 9th inning, still 2-0. The run scored by the Astros in the first and the third. Padres have out hit them 5-4. Gonzalez leads off. The shortstop is 1 for 3 with a walk tonight. Scott Moore and then Justin Maxwell to follow. Looking ahead, bottom of the 9th inning, Padres have Guzman, Forsythe, Maben scheduled. Anyone gets on, Carlos Quinton might get the call.
Yeah, still available on the bench for Buddy Black from the left side, Mark Kotze, John Baker, and as you mentioned, Dick, Carlos Quinton from the right side.
The Astros have a right-hander, Brett Myers, the veteran, getting loose down in the bullpen.
They've gotten to him before in Houston.
One and two. Line drive over the head of Forsythe into right field. Marvin Gonzalez just called up off the DL. A couple of hits yesterday in San Francisco and 2 more tonight in San Diego.
Pretty nice swing right there by Gonzalez. His ball is down and he goes down and gets it.
Forsythe, yeah, he's up there.
Getting up there high, not high enough.
So Scott Moore, who has not had but 1 official at bat, he got a single, 2 sacrifice flies, and a hit batsman tonight. It's the 6th inning tonight that the leadoff man has been on for Houston.
You know, we mentioned Dave Clark in the third base coaches box, or I should say in between home and third. Remember when Mark McGwire was with the Cardinals? Renee Latchman would go beyond where the umpire is standing at third base. He didn't want to get a heat-seeking missile hit his way when McGwire was at the plate. He would be back where the umpire is, outside the coach's box.
Dave Clark's busy. He's working he's going to wear a path in the grass there, going back and forth. One and one. Scott Moore. Phillies have beaten the Dodgers 3-2. Dodgers have lost 3 in a row. San Francisco idle, so the Giants pick up a half game on the Dodgers and lead by 2 in the West. Runner goes. Swung on and missed. Throw is offline and 1 hop and in safely with another stolen base. Gonzalez, that's the 4th stolen base tonight by the Astros. 1 by Altuve. Gonzalez with 1, 2 by Jordan Schaefer.
That was one of the few breaking balls that Dale Thayer threw as a slider up and away to Scott Moore. Now the double play out of order.
Bogusevic also. So 5 stolen bases tonight by Houston. It's updating the West. Arizona with a win. Dodgers with a loss. Colorado with a win. They edged Pittsburgh 5-4 at Coors Field. By the way, that's Gonzalez's first stolen base. The Rockies with a win. Padres a game ahead of the Rockies at the start tonight. High fly ball. Amarista. One away. Well, your Padres are going to salute the California National Guard on Sunday. National Guard Appreciation Day presented by USAA. Enjoy the usual military Sunday pregame ceremony before the Padres and the Rockies play ball at 1:05. Get your tickets at Padres.com or call 619-795-5555. Scott Moore flies out, so Justin Maxwell with one out and a runner at second base. And that ball just foul. Maxwell grounded out twice, struck out, and flied to center. So if your young people are coming out now with your family or friends, be sure to wear your Padre gear when you come out to Petco Park, because you know the coaches and players will toss the foul ball into the crowd. They're looking for someone that's a fan, not just especially a San Diego.
Yeah.
Pays off.
That's absolutely true, and it's been that way for years and years and years.
Yeah, you tossed the ball in the stand. You made sure it went to somebody.
I was looking. That's exactly right, because San Diego has a lot of fans of other teams too.
1-1. Fly ball slicing down the right field line. That's a tough play. Falling in a hurry and just foul. Denorfia was not going to get there, and returning to second base is Marwin Gonzalez.
I looked like that ball was just going to fall in a perfect spot where nobody could get to it. Get that third run in for Houston, but it's just foul.
A little confusing down the right field line because there's a guy wire that goes from the backstop screen and is supported all the way up into the second deck in right center. So the foul line and that wire come together.
Yeah.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Oh,
Maxwell.
Not far from getting hit in the knuckles on that one.
Looks like that's a good pickup, though, this kid was with the Yankees, had a labrum surgery last year, and so he was available. Astros picked him up. Outside the fastball, and the count goes 2-2.
They are going for the outside corner. They're just missed.
I think he's going to try to tie him up with that little two-seam at 95 on the inner part of the plate.
If you do, you got to make sure you get it in there.
Yeah, and the reason why I say that is because if you miss with the slider, you don't want to hang it. There it is.
Well, very strong. He's a guy you really don't want to make a mistake out over the plate on.
One out, and the count 2-2 on Maxwell. He chases, strike 3.
There was the slider.
Second strikeout for Dale Thayer.
Two-seamers in, sliders down and away. See ya. Nice pick by Grandal, and he applies the tag for the out.
That brings up Brian Bogusevic, who lined a double over the center fielder Mavenshead the last time up. He's 1 for 4. 2 outs. Thayer trying to keep the Astros at a 2-0 lead as we go into the final inning. 5 hits aside, but 2-0 Astros. 2 early runs that have grown taller on the Petco Park scoreboard. Scoreboard has it 1-0, but it's 1-1. So the question is,
oh, here we go.
Why is it that once you get to the bullpen, every team, the game just comes slowly grinding to a halt? That relief pitchers don't pitch in a faster rhythm. Starters do, but not relief pitchers. It just seemed to deliberate over every delivery.
That's a good point. I don't think I have an answer for that. Some guys just want to be deliberate and make sure they're on the right page with their catcher and make the.
Well, it's late in the game. Yeah, I guess maybe because the game's at stake late in the game. You can't make a mistake. You got to really have focus.
Sure, yeah.
But it does grind, doesn't it? 2-2 now. And the count goes full.
And I know those defenders out there in the field, they want a little bit better rhythm too.
Did that affect you at all, Tony?
And ball 4. So the Astros have benefited now from 9 walks and a hit batsman tonight. And here comes Balsley again. This is the most appearances the pitching coach for the Padres has made in the game all year.
Well, hey, Padre fans, we want you to stay tuned after the ball game. Watch Mike Pomerantz and Mark Sweeney work their magic. Padres Live will have a complete wrap-up of the game. Have some live interviews for you. Bud Black is going to have his post-game press conference, of course. Padres Live, as always, brought to you by Cox Communications. After the game, right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
And don't forget about Mark Sweeney's fashion commentary as well. That's going to be part of the post-game. I'm looking forward to that.
I am too. I'm going to take notes.
Yeah. Let's all chip in and buy him a pocket square. You know, he's almost dressed.
I want to have him cross over to the other side and wear that pocket square. Come on, Sweeney.
Try to have some fun out there. Chris Johnson, 3 consecutive walks and a strikeout. Unusual scoring line for this third baseman. He's made a big defensive play that's been key to the 2-0 lead for Houston. What is it about Johnson? The Padres can't seem to throw him many strikes. Gonzalez with a leadoff single and a steal. Still at second, joined by Bogusevic. That's a strike, 2-1.
Perfect location right there with the fastball.
2 on, 2 out for the Stros. In a 2-0 game. High fly ball to deep right center field. Maben going back, and makes the catch and slams into the wall. Maben makes another dandy and takes the punishment. A knockdown, but he's up at the count of 8. And the inning is over. Concentration fully on the ball, knowing what's about to come. Makes the catch, pays the price. Inning over. Veteran Brett Myers labored some 7-8 years in the Phillies bullpen. Actually was a starter early in his career and then took over in the pen about 2007 after coming up the big leagues in 2002. He works the 9th inning. Guzman leads it off. Ball 1. Jesus flied out, popped up, and rattled a double off the deep left center field fence his last time up. Myers 0-4. Batting average .286. He gives up some hits. Ground ball to short. Right at Gonzalez. 1 away. And our Carl's Jr. star of the game, the starter for the Astros, Jay Happ. 4 hits, no runs, and some good fielding plays as well for Happ as he's in position to win his 7th game of the year. Left in the 7th inning with 1 out, allowing only 4 hits, walked only 1 and struck out 4. Logan Forsythe trying to get on, bring that tying run to the plate here in the last of the 9th. Takes a strike. Forsythe a single and a walk, 1 for 2 tonight. And Myers quickly in front, 2 strikes on the count.
Myers 2 blown saves on the year, 18 for 20 in the save opportunity category. Fastball, slider, curve, and a split from the veteran right-hander. Low to mid-90s. Going to live around 92, 93 on the fastball.
1-2. Strike 3 called. And the Padres are down to their final out.
Pitch right there.
It looked like a split ET.
The split finger on the outside corner. Perfect slot.
Boy, when you can control that pitch with a little bit of movement there, you can see the different rotation on that. The split finger fastball.
Maben is lined to short, safe on a fielder's choice, stole the 17th base, and he's walked tonight, 0 for 2. And he takes a strike. 90 on the fastball, well spotted by the veteran right-hander. That one just misses the outside corner. Is a product of Jacksonville, Florida, is Myers, and was a teammate of Rasheed Mathis, the outstanding cornerback of the Jaguars. Pro bowler. And with that swing and a miss, the Padres have 1 strike left. 1-2 the count. In his starting days, he started for the Phillies. He was their opening day starter. Two and 2. Amateur boxer as a kid, teenager. And trying to apply the knockout punch here at Petco. High chop to third. That's a fair ball. The long throw across is offline, and safe is Maben. That's a tough play for Johnson. Had to go up to the jump throw, and Maben able to beat it as the throw pulled first baseman Moore up the line.
Hopefully it was okay. It looked like he kind of pulled up there as he was getting out of the way of the tag at first base. Give Maben credit. He was running the whole time. He didn't assume that it was going to go foul, but that last leap.
Yeah, he hit the bag awkwardly right here. He's stretching out. And let's hope he hasn't pulled something. He stays in the game, and Mark Kotze, representing the tying run with 2 outs, will hit for Cabrera. .293 overall is Kotze on the season. 7 for 22 as a pinch hitter, but he grounds this one right at the second baseman. The throw to first. The ball game is over. And for the Houston Astros, their losing streak on the road ends. 13 straight losses, and it's over now as they've defeated the Padres 2-0. Mike?
Tough one for sure, Dick. Guys, we've got a good post-game show for you, though. We'll talk about the game, of course, but also our instructional, how to steal home plate. Teach you young players and coaches from the experts, Mark Sweeney and Tony Gwynn, just how to get that done. You'll hear from the manager, Buddy Black. And don't forget, highlights from all across the major leagues when we see in just a couple of moments on the post-game show.